Pass rolling to his right. They throw it. The in route to Tanner Steck. Makes the catch. Steck dives for the pylon. Touchdown!
Up by the Nuggets and an attack. That'll go for a kill from Anasteer.
Lamar looks for a block, makes a man miss at the 5. End zone touchdown. Swirls. Sets up middle. Jensen for the exclamation point kill.
30, the 20, the 15, the 10, and an 85-yard touchdown run for Landon Olsen.
Ulster Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Horace, North Dakota, the site for this Class 2A EDC high school football matchup between the Grand Forks Central Knights and the Horace Hawks. Friday Night Lights, indeed. It's going to be a fun one up and down the valley, and a fun one here tonight for the newest football program in the West Fargo area. And of course, the Grand Forks Central Knights, one of the oldest programs in the state of North Dakota, taking on each other in a very big EDC matchup in terms of standings, in terms of the second half matchups, looking as these two teams look to make pushes towards the playoffs in those EDC rankings. So far this year, you look at these teams and the way that they sit standing-wise. West Fargo comes in, the Hawks, with a record of 2-3 overall, 2-2 in EDC play. Meanwhile, for Grand Forks Central, they come in with a record of 2-3 overall as well, but 1-2 in EDC play for these teams. A little bit of a difference as they've come into tonight. For Horace, a loss last week in 14-3 against Valley City. For Grand Forks Central, they're coming off a bye and the healthiest that they have been all season. The same can be said for the Horace Hawks. We're glad that you're joining us here tonight on your live event. Dan Gunderson alongside Joey Hughes to bring you this broadcast. You've heard enough from me in this pregame show. How about we hear from the coaches of these high school squads? First up on the docket, we will have a chance to sit down with Harvey McMahon, the head coach for the Horace Hawks. You're watching North Dakota High School Class AA EDC football on your live event.
Phone and TV. And as your needs have changed, so has 702. Our dedication to our community and customers runs deep. So when you call, we listen. And you can trust that we'll never stop working to bring the latest technology to our friends and neighbors. Thank you for 20 years in business. The best is yet to come.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota. If you want help from a firm that has integrity and respect, strives for excellence, and is interested in the betterment of the community, look no farther than Onstead Twitchell Attorneys. Our team of attorneys has dedicated and talented professionals who are committed to improving the lives of their clients and providing custom legal solutions with integrity and excellence. We have offices in West Fargo, Hillsborough, Maddox, Page, and Castleton. Or visit our website, www.onsteadlaw.com.
The Your Live Event pregame show carries on. Dan Gunderson here with the head coach of the Horace Hawks, Harvey McMahon. And Harvey, coming off a tough loss last week.
Our trajectory for the rest of the season.
Well, the trajectory for the Hawks has been pretty unique. Obviously, just the second year in varsity football, but first two wins of the year as well. First 2 wins of the school's history came prior to that loss to Valley City. So there's something to at least build off of from that standpoint. And what do you feel that you can build off of against Grand Forks Central? What do you think there are things that you've done so far this season that should be successful going up against the Knights tonight?
We've found some success running the ball, and we have found some success passing the ball. I think when you look at the entirety of this year, it's just finding your identity on offense and defense. And we feel that we've done that a little bit. It's hard. You have it when you're losing, but it's hard to find that and hang your hat on it because, right, you're not seeing the successes necessarily. But now that you start to see a little bit of success, you can do some things, and that if you do them correctly, that you can get the result that you want. And so just knowing that we do have a little bit of an identity. Now we still got quite a ways to go to develop that identity. Just knowing you have that, it's possible then.
Yeah, this is the back half of the season for you and the Knights. 4 more games remaining as you try to push towards those EDC playoff positions if possible. You had mentioned running, though, and I want to start there offensively. You've got a couple running backs who have done really well for you, Dylan and Ty. Talk about those 2 guys for you and how they really complement each other in the running game.
Yeah, and it's really nice to have those 2 together because it is a 1-2 punch. And Dylan is a downhill physical runner. He welcomes contact, which is awesome. And then Ty is, he's a young kid. He's a sophomore. He's kind of more of our lightning back. He's a fast kid. He's not scared of contact either. He's a decent sized kid. But he's, able to maybe bust that long play. So just having them together, they are both equally so important to that run game.
Let's talk about the defense, which at the start of this season gave up some high point numbers, but that has steadily been coming down over the last few weeks. And tough when you start with the number 1 team in all of state in Fargo North, but you guys have really put together a couple back-to-back solid defensive performances, only 20 points given up 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, 14 last week. What have you noticed about the defense over the last few weeks that has really impressed you? And what do you believe is going to carry over tonight?
Well, it carries over to identity. And so, when you start with 2 opt-down teams like Dickinson and North, you better be ready to go right away. And so I think there's a little bit of, you're seeing some higher level right out the gate. And so those mistakes that you make, especially early season, get exploited, and they're a lot bigger rather than what they would be at the end of the season. And so, quite frankly, you can take it either way. When you see North and Dickinson, you see those mistakes, it's pretty glaring on film. And so when you can get into a film room with those kids and show them, this is how you fix it. It was actually nice to have that in a sense, like they learned, and it really expedited the process. Sometimes if you have success early on, those mistakes can kind of get glossed over, where when you play a team like North and Dickinson, they don't get glossed over. They're going to make you pay for it. So we were able to actually use those mistakes and correct it. And it really kind of tightened up our defense a little bit. And so now I think that's what we're seeing here in the middle towards the end of the season is we're making less mistakes. We have a long ways to go, but we're certainly learning faster and correcting them.
At the end of the game, we're talking and Horace has won. What do you believe your team will have done well in order to get the victory tonight?
I think what they would have done well is we had less turnovers, and we executed better on offense, and we were detail-oriented on defense.
And that should be what we hopefully see tonight from you, Coach, and maybe be talking at the end of the game as you go up against the Knights tonight. Good luck in tonight's contest, and hopefully we'll be talking to you afterwards.
Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, that's Coach Harvey McMahon, the head coach of the Horace Hawks. When we come back, we will talk to the head coach of the Grand Forks Central Knights, Jake Schauer. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
Buying a new home, but worried about the interest rate and terms from your bank? At First Class Mortgage, we'll find a mortgage that fits your needs. Shopping national banks and other lenders for the lowest rate and most affordable terms. Saving you time and money. So all you need to worry about is enjoying your new home. First Class Mortgage. Our expertise, your peace of mind. Put an expert to work for you. Call today.
I'm Darian Bitts. I'm confident on and off the field. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
I'm Doug Gray. I'm confident during the performance and when it's time for college. I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
Back here on your live event, little class 2A EDC football. We are now joined by Jake Schauer, the head coach of the Grand Forks Central football team. And coach, coming into this one, West Fargo Horace, new program, just the second year in existence. Maybe just start out there. Tell us what you know about them and how you've been preparing to kind of attack them offensively, defensively, and the game plan against the Hawks.
Yeah, they're much improved. They're a well-coached football team. Very different situation than us. I think we're the oldest football team in the state, and they might be the second newest if you count Minot North. But a very good football team. They're not winning games by luck. They're winning games because they're doing things right. They're not making mistakes. Like I said, they're well-coached, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a four-quarter fight that's down to the end, and we're really looking forward to it.
What are you looking for from your team to switch gears a little bit as we get to the back half of this season? We're starting to get to that October time of the year where the playoffs are looming. What are you looking for from your team as you start to make that push?
We talked yesterday about you never know how to feel coming off a bye week like we are. It's kind of a uncharted territory in high school football. I think a lot of us are still getting used to it. Obviously, it's good to heal the bodies, work on some little things at practice, focus on things that you don't normally have time to focus on during a game prep week. But I think that we're looking at how do we start? And did we use the bye week or did we just kind of get lazy? How do we start? Because we've got 4 really important football games in front of us, and we just have to take it one play, one quarter, one game at a time. And if that's the mindset we have, we're going to be all right.
Let's talk a little bit about your quarterback, Jack Simmers, the senior. He's had a wonderful year so far, 62% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns on the year, takes care of the ball really well. What do you expect out of him and the senior leadership from your quarterback in the second half of the season?
Jack's, he's just an athlete. To call him a quarterback is still just weird to me because Jack's the type of kid outside of offensive line, you could line him up anywhere and Jack's going to succeed because he's just an athlete and he's a gamer. But when the lights turn on, Jack knows what he needs to do to succeed, and he does a great job putting his teammates in spots where they can succeed too. For us to be successful, Jack has to stay within himself and play the type of football we know he's capable of playing. He's a great leader. He's still growing into his position, but every week he's improving and he's asking the right questions, and couldn't be more proud of Jack Simmers.
How about your running back, Caden Johansson, and the year that he has had? He's been carrying the rock quite a bit for you guys. You rely on him to move the ball, move the offense, kind of the heartbeat of what you guys are doing there. Let's talk a little bit about your running back.
Physical, nasty football player. He's a hockey player, so that says enough, man. He's a kid. He just likes to grind, and when he gets the football in his hands, we're confident that, what JoJo does best is he can take a -2 play and turn it into 2 yards. And that sounds dumb, but it's super important for us just to keep the ball moving down the field, keeping those down and distances manageable. So when we need to take a shot or we need the big play, we're in a position to do so. Caden is just such a great kid, offensively, defensively. He's had a good year for us. Very steady, consistent kid. We know what to expect out of him every day, and that's very important. Kind of like Jack, kind of a quiet leader. Just having a great year for us.
Defensively, talk a little bit about what you guys are going to look for tonight to make sure that you're giving your offense a chance to score points, playing that complementary football we hear so much about.
Yeah, defensively, we just need to play assignment, steady football. If we know what our job is and we stay in our gap, we know our coverage, we're going to be okay. I feel like Coach Carr and Coach Philpott have done a great job this week and every week, kind of just simplifying things for the kids and saying, if this happens, this is your job. When that happens, that's your job. And that's kind of the role of the defense. It's bend, don't break, but be able to get the offense back on the field. But the offense has to do the same thing. We need to be able to string out some long, steady drives, keep the defense off the field, and like you said, play complementary football.
At the end of the game, if Grand Forks Central wins, why? Tell me what you guys would have done well in your mind. What would you have executed in order to get the victory tonight?
We limited mistakes. The team that makes less mistakes, that's who's going to win. I think we're very even as far as talent. I think we're very even as far as coaching and skills and everything. It's just the team that shows up, plays clean football, that's who's going to win tonight.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time on the pregame show here on your live event. Good luck tonight versus the Hawks, and maybe we'll be talking to you after the game.
Thank you. Appreciate it as always.
Yeah, Jake Schauer, head coach of the Grand Forks Central football team. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more of the pregame show here on your live event.
R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is hiring a full-time play-by-play sports announcer and broadcast sales representative. Duties include selling advertising time for radio, digital, video streaming, and regional cable TV. Play-by-play responsibilities include live play-by-play of local sporting events for radio, video streaming, and regional cable TV broadcasts. Wage plus talent and commission pay structure with full-time benefits package offered. For more information or to apply, email apply@rjbroadcasting.com. That's apply@rjbroadcasting.com.
Dan Gunderson back with you here from Horace High School, home of the Horace Hawks. Joey Hughes alongside me as well. This game, like I said, going to be a good one to start off the second half of the season. Fargo North, of course, leads the two Class A EDC standings, undefeated, 4-0 in EDC play. West Fargo, though, at 2-2 and 2-3 overall. Just a couple games behind them, a half a game behind Fargo South as well. For Grand Forks Central, coming off a bye last week, they're 1-2 in EDC play, 2-3 overall as well. Both these teams very similar in points scored and points given up. Horace and Grand Forks Central going to run the ball a little bit more than they'll pass it. So we'll look for these teams to try and dominate on the ground. Could be a quick and fast-paced game. As we talked with the coaches in the pregame show, the two guys to watch in the backfield, Dylan Johnson for Horace. He leads the team with 334 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. For the Knights, it's Caden Johansson, 307 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown so far this year. Quarterbacks, the men running the show under center. Taylor Stefanowicz for Horace, 5 interceptions so far this year, but 521 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jack Simmers for the Knights, 316 yards, 4 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions so far this season. This is the first of many Your Live Event game broadcasts throughout the region. We'll tell you what else is on tap tonight for our viewing area. But first, we take our final break of the pregame show. When we come back, kickoff from Horace High School in West Fargo. You're watching North Dakota High School football on Your Live Event.
At Enbridge, we believe sustainability is the foundation of our success. How well we perform as a steward of our environment, a safe operator of essential energy infrastructure, a good neighbor, and a diverse employer defines our success. Learn more about Enbridge's environmental, social, and governance commitments and our Indigenous Reconciliation Plan at enbridge.com.
Let's get real. Get ready for a place that's big enough to grow and small enough to care. The University of Minnesota Crookston offers more than 35 majors, minors, and certificates. Earn a University of Minnesota degree, where you can make a difference in a close-knit community. Faculty become friends and friends feel like family. You don't need a big city, just big dreams. The University of Minnesota Crookston. Real, hands-on, and will get you ready for anything.
Every farmer has a good story about picking rocks. Want to hear ours? To this day, we pick rocks on our founder's farm, and they go into every Bell Bank branch we build. How's that for rock-solid commitment?
Every bank wants you to open an account. Then along come sneaky fees. Sneaky, sneaky. If you hate sneaky fees, switch to Bell Bank. We give sneaky fees the boot. Bell Bank.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in North Dakota. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the NDHSAA and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Keep your job site stocked with reliable service from Prairie Supply Inc., the contractor's headquarters. Our team specializes in everything concrete. That means hand tools and equipment, rebar of all shapes and sizes, concrete forming packages and ICFs, decorative concrete materials like color, stain, sealers, and coatings. And let's not forget our impressive fleet of winter construction equipment to keep the concrete flowing all year round. If you've got concrete questions, we've got concrete answers at Prairie Supply Inc., the contractor's headquarters. Visit us today at any of our 6 locations.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our growers. Your trust and fellowship is the driving force behind our dedication to your successful farming operation. We continue to invest in the education of our team to ensure your customer experience is outstanding. Thank you for the opportunity to be your planter experts. Stop by either of our locations in Hillsboro or Drayton, North Dakota, or visit planterdoc.com.
Dan Gunderson back with you here on your live event kickoff. Coming up just around the corner for these two teams. We've got the Knights, Grand Forks Central. They won the toss and elected to receive, and so we'll start by listing off the starting offensive side of the ball for Grand Forks Central. For the offensive line, starting at a left tackle position, senior Landon Lima at the left guard position. We have a senior, Seth Fontaine. At the center position, it is a senior, Matthew Rothenberger. The right guard will be maintained by Keegan Hauser, a junior for the Knights, and at right tackle, Hayden Olson, the senior, to round out those front 5. Central typically runs a spread offense, and it'll look a lot like this at a wideout position. You will have a senior, 6'4", 230 pounds, Trey Kuntz. Another senior, 6'2", 280 pound, Leo Strandell. Tyler Whalen, a slot back at 5'9", 165 pound senior. And we will also hear from Eric Pay, a 6'4", 220 pound senior wideout. In the backfield, at the running back position, we talked about him in the pregame show. It'll be senior, 5'8", 195 pounder, Caden Johansson. And, of course, the individual man and things under center, 6 foot, 195 pound senior, Jack Simmers. Grand Forks Central, as we said, coming in with a record of 2-3 overall, and they are coached by head coach Jake Schauer. And now for the Horace Hawks, 2-3 record in overall play as well, 2-2 in the EDC. They get to start out on defense tonight. Not a lot of two-way players for this team, but we'll go through this starting roster as well. A 4-3-4 lineup on defense starting at end. You will have senior Noah Sherva. At the tackle position, I should say at the other end position, you will have a senior, Jack Roxwold. At the tackle position, a sophomore, wearing number 56, Toby Rederath. The other tackle position, we'll see junior Levi Gordon. The linebackers look like this. Junior Mason Johnson, junior Gage Falloon, and sophomore Cooper Fuchs. In the secondary, you'll have Jackson Narum, a sophomore, At the other cornerback, you will have Xavier Burrow, one of the seniors in the secondary for this team. The other senior you'll see back there is Charlie Leszewski. And finally, the other safety for this team, junior Axel Anderson. Harvey McMahon, the head coach for the Horace Hawks, in just their second season in existence in high school football, as the Hawks varsity squad jumping on the midfield logo in Horace, North Dakota, southern part of West Fargo, a school district that continues to be busting at the seams. But with that growth comes good talent to be spread around 3 high schools in this area: West Fargo High, the Packers, of course, West Fargo Cheyenne, and now the Horace Hawks. 2-3 on the season. A tough one last week against Valley City, a 14-13 loss the other weekend, coming off a win prior to that. And Horace will be looking to rebound tonight as they start out on defense. Grand Forks Central coming off the bye. The one thing that these two teams have in common right now, the injury bug has not bitten them. We talked with both coaches pre-game show, got a little insight into how things are going this year, and said if there's one positive out of how this season has progressed, it has been the lack of injuries, and that is a great thing. We never want to see players or teams have to deal with it. It is a part of this game just because of the physicality, but both these rosters going to be at or near 100% tonight, which should make for a very entertaining game. We are the first game on your live events broadcast schedule tonight. We will get to the other games that we have going on. As a thank you to our sponsors, of course, we'll have the First Class Mortgage halftime show coming up at the end of 2/12s. But first, let's kick things off between these two teams. Kicking things off for Horace, it'll be Jacob Birnbaum. Tees things up at the 40. 3 back to receive for Grand Forks Central, and we are underway as that kick is going to go out of bounds. So an illegal procedure, smart job by Tyler Whalen to let that one go, and the flag flies, and the ball should start at the Grand Forks Central 35-yard line. Or I should say the Horace 35-yard line for the Knights. Oh, pardon me, they're not going to elect to take it at a starting field position. They're going to make Horace re-kick the ball. So all that anticipation for the kickoff, let's reset it. And we start again. This time the ball will be teed up from the 35-yard line. Jacob Birnbaum still here to kick things off. Along back there with Tyler Whalen, we have Jack Simmers. And I believe on that far side appears to be a Brooklyn Bruce. And this kick is much better. And it'll set Whalen and Simmers back, and that one will go into the end zone for a touchback. So an interesting decision by the Knights to not take the illegal procedure, and it should have been an automatic start at the 35. Instead, they said, let's push him back. And the kick this time by Birnbaum goes into the end zone for a touchback. And the field position will be their own 20 for the Knights. Jack Simmers under center for Grand Forks Central. Said come in tonight. 4 touchdowns thrown through the air. 316 yards. He's only thrown the ball 26 times so far this season. And Grand Forks Central will spread things out, but they'll also run things tight as it'll be a handoff to Johansson, who runs off that left tackle and then is swallowed up by the Hawks defense. There for the tackle was Jack Roxwold. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10. Horace, of course, in the home black uniforms. Gold wings on either side of the black helmets. The Knights, no logo on the helmet. Maroon or in color. Man in motion, and Simmers is in the shotgun. He's going to run. Quarterback keeper to the right has to stop. Cut back to the left, has a little bit of room. Push back to the 20, gets past the 20, and then is thrown out of bounds. Nice job defensively on the outside there looked to be Charlie Leshevsky, taking Simmers out of bounds. Gain of 4 on the play. Trying to run a little bit of a quarterback power to the right. Hawks did a good job of penetration on that side. Simmers had to reverse field, found a little bit of green, but not enough to get a first down. It'll be 3rd and 6 now for the Knights. They'll spread it out 3 to the right. Simmers in the backfield. Now he'll move motion to the right and overload to that side, and they'll move him to that side. The righty will plant, throw. He'll go to his secondary look. Incomplete. Great job by Leshevsky breaking that one up. The intended receiver on the play looked to be Bryce Griffor, the 5'11 senior. But Leshevsky doing a great job of playing the ball instead of trying to go through the body. Sometimes you see that when a ball, the defender gets there about the same time as the ball, avoids any kind of contact, and he'll line up in the deep for a punt return opportunity. He's on the near sideline as the punt is away, almost blocked. As it heads towards Leshevsky, he's going to let that one go out of bounds right at about the Hawks' 45-yard line, and that is where the offense will take over from. Quarterback for this team will be Taylor Stefanowicz, the junior. Offensive line will go Levi Gordon at left tackle, Cole Somerville at right. Carter Skank and Adam Bamba will be your guards, with the center Asher Kranz. Mason Johnson will be your tight end. Split end will be Israel Bauer. Lucas Holzing will be your flanker. Slapback Gavin Olson, and Dylan Johnson in the backfield for Horace. We'll get to that Knights starting offense here in a moment, but first, Stefanowicz takes it, hands it off to Johnson, up the middle, gain of about 3. Looks like he's in Knight territory. Make it 4 down to the Knight 49-yard line for the Hawks. We're also going to hear from Ty Garai, the 5'9 sophomore. So Johnson packs the wallop. Garai will be the lightning for this Hawks offense as they set up at 2nd and 6 at the Knights 49, already in enemy territory. Let's say call it a little bit of a staggered pistol position. Johnson off to the left of Stefanowicz, who takes the snap and he'll hand it off to Johnson. He'll get ripped down in the backfield. Defensively, great job by Grand Forks Central getting there, and a loss of 1. Ball on the other side of the 50. And a 3rd and 7 coming up for the Hawks. Seth Fontaine, Eric Pay, and Trey Kuntz make up the front line of the Grand Forks Central defense. We'll get to the rest of it here in a minute as Stefanowicz whips it out to the left side. Looks to be, yes, and up for a first down there on the reception for the Hawks. It was Charlie Leshevsky. Gavin Olson. Distance from here, 3 and 2, do look a little bit similar. It doesn't matter who's receiving that ball because it's a first down for the Hawks up to the 41, a gain of 9 for Horace to get the first down. A 3-4-4 type defense for Grand Forks Central, or more commonly known as the 3-4 defense, as they put a man in motion, pitch it up in front. This one is taken by Horace, and then the ball is on the ground, and it's recovered by Central. Looked to be Jackson Narum who had the ball, lost it, and recovered by the Knights. So Horace, after a first down on a 1st and 10, put Narum in motion, a little pitch forward from Stefanowicz to Narum, who loses the ball just behind the line of scrimmage, if not at it, and recovered by the Knights. And the first turnover of the game goes the way of Grand Forks Central. Well, 9:21 to go in this first quarter. It'll be a shotgun formation for Simmers. It looks to set up a screen and does. Breaking a couple tackles and almost getting free was Gabe Tandy. Horace, though, does a good job of hanging on to his ankles, so he can't go any farther than a 5-yard gain up to the 46, make it a 6-yard gain up to the 47.
Gain of about 6 yards on the play makes it 2nd and 4
So that Narum fumble. We'll see if Horace can hold here defensively. Did a good job of getting the Knights in a 3-and-out scenario. First time they had the ball, but this is the second possession. And it's going to be a keeper for Simmers, who has really nowhere to go. Still bouncing off tackles, getting to the outside, but great pursuit by that Horace defense, making sure that Simmers had nowhere to go. And, in fact, he lost some yards. We have a flag on the far side of the field, right around the where the line of scrimmage is at. Sometimes that indicates maybe an illegal formation or an offsides. But since they let the play go, I'm assuming it is an illegal formation, especially because you have one of the referees talking with Coach McMahon of Horace. So the discussion right now has to be, do we push him back? And it was a loss of 2 on the carry. So in this scenario, it would be a 3rd and 6. However, if they choose to push him back, it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. So here is the call. So there you had it. Horace declines the illegal formation, and it'll set up a 3rd and 6 from the Grand Forks Central 45-yard line. Simmers joined in the backfield by Johnson. Shotgun formation. Man in motion. Takes a snap. He'll drop back. Now roll to his right. Throws it. Man wide open in the middle is Leo Strandell. And then a flag comes in late after Strandell had a first down up to the 45. And I believe with the way Strandell gets up after that one, we might have a late hit on Horace as well. We'll see what the call is.
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask. Defense number 11. 15 yards. We have into the run. First down.
So a face mask penalty is called. That's on Mason Johnson for Horace. Moves the ball from the 45 to the 30 for the Knights. So a big first down. Gain of 10 on the play when they needed 5. I should say 6. And another 15 on, and we are in business for Grand Forks Central. Shotgun formation for Simmers with Johansson in the backfield with him. Fake it, looks left, rolls left, has pressure, dumps it off, and wide open there is Eric Pay, who then is taken down in the secondary by Xavier Burrow, but not after a long gain of 18 down to the 12-yard line. And it is 1st and 10 again for the Knights. Kind of seemed like a broken play as Simmers was rolling to his left. Horace defense started to attack him at his position, but right there, the beneficiary of some, I would say, lax defense is Eric Pay, and a first down for the Knights. Simmers will hand it off to Johansson, who goes left, but he has really nowhere to go. That defense, great job by the Hawks. First there for Horace was Cooper Fuchs. They'll bring up a 2nd down. Gain of a yard to the 11. So Central can still get a first down inside the 2 if they're able to get the ball to that part of the field. Right now, a 2nd and 9. Great evening here in Horace. Just a gorgeous fall evening. Sun is shining. This early start time, early kickoff of 6 o'clock. Glad you could join us on your live event as Simmers takes it. He's going to hand it off left. Johansson has room, breaks a tackle towards the end zone. Touchdown. We do have a flag on the play as it stands, an 11-yard score for Johansson. Grand Forks Central players are indicating it's on Horace. But let's see what the call is. Right now for the Knights, they've got an 11-yard touchdown run for Johansson. If it stands. For him, it would be his 2nd rushing touchdown of the year, but let's get the call. His head referee just taking all the time in the world, has no real concerns as he's looking over to the Knights sideline. There's a discussion over there. So the face mask penalty will be enforced on the kickoff, and the touchdown stands for the Knights as they line up for the extra point. It'll be Ross Wilbur to attempt it for Horace. Snap down, kick is up and good. And just like that, the Knights have grabbed an early 7-0 lead with 6:32 to go in the first half. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event. Back here on your live event, Horace High School, Horace, North Dakota, the Hawks, trailing 7-0 after an 11-yard touchdown run by Caden Johnson, the senior running back. His second touchdown run of the season. Came in averaging 4.8 yards per carry. That carry, 11 yards, and Grand Forks Central on the touchdown run, there was a personal foul face mask penalty, which the Knights have chosen to tack on to the kickoff, where Ross Wilbur will tee it up from on the Horace side of the 50, the 45 to be exact. So one of two options here, really. Go for the onside or you boom it out the other end of the end zone, and Wilbur chooses the latter as that one lands out of bounds, touchback, and this Horace offense will take over from there. Defensively, we'll get to the rest of the team for the Grand Forks Central Knights. The four linebackers you will hear from tonight. You will have Eli Thompson, a senior. Gabe Tandy will be another linebacker for this team. Anton Peerless will be the third, and then Caden Johansson, the fourth linebacker for this squad. Of course, four secondary individuals as well. One quarterback, Taylor Stefanowicz, does not want to throw to anymore. Big hole up the middle for Johnson, and he busted the 40. He gets to midfield, 2 Knights to beat. Decides to go into one at the 45-yard line, but a long run for Dylan Johnson. Busts it up the hole all the way down to the Grand Forks Central 33-yard line. A 47-yard scamper, and it's 1st and 10 Hawks. Just a huge hole up the middle for Johnson. And Horace in business now. This is the second time they've had the ball in plus territory. The first time came after a 4-and-out, or I should say a 3-and-out from the Knights. The turnover ended up by Narum on the 41-yard line. Right now, Horace in the pistol formation will hand it off to Johnson over the left side, and he had a big hole there as well. But coming in to make the tackle was Eric Pay, one of the defensive ends for this Central squad, and he's able to take him down rather quickly. Secondary will look like this. You'll see Tyler Whalen and Jack Simmers play at the safety positions. The corners will be Bryce Gafford and Braden Dirks, senior and junior respectively, and that is the Knights defense here as they are set up in their 3-4 positioning, shotgun formation. Stefanowicz looks to his right, throws to his right, and wide open there with the catch is Gavin Olson, who breaks a tackle and then scampers out of bounds inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line. A gain of 16 for Gavin Olson and a first down for Horace. The Hawks we have better rushing stats than they do passing. Stefanowicz, though, 521 yards through the air, the 5 interceptions. A bit of a, kind of I'd say, glaring weakness. He does have 3 touchdowns, doing a better job of protecting the football. And then you've got Garai up the middle, finds a little room past the 17 to the 15-yard line, gain of 2. The individual, Ty Garai, 240 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Great compliment to Dylan Johnson. He has about half as many carries as he does. But still, quite a few yards on the ground. 7.1 yards per carry for Garai, who is a 5'9", 160-pound sophomore. And he joins Stefanowicz in the backfield. He sets up to look for the block. Throw to the right. Wide open there on the outside for Horace was Lucas Holzing. He gets a first down inside the 6 to the 5 yard line. Steps out of bounds there. It'll be 1st and goal for Horace. Great response here from Horace after giving up the touchdown following a Narum fumble turnover. And right now knocking on the door. Garai in the backfield with Stefanowicz, who rolls 3 out to his left. 1 to the right. It's Holsing, the lone receiver on the near side. Takes a snap. Handoff Gary up the middle. Garai down at the 4 yard line, gain of 1. Grand Forks Central doing a great job of protecting the middle in close to the end zone. That 47-yard run for Dylan Johnson, though, was one that the hole was wide open in the middle of the defense. And Johnson still not back in this game. It's Garai's turn, who's in the backfield with Stefanowicz, who takes the snap. He'll hand it off. Garai finding some room, churning his way down to the 2 yard line. In there to make the tackle for Central was Tyler Whalen. Third and goal from the 2. Big down here in this first quarter. Just under 4 minutes to go. Shotgun formation. Stefanowicz, Garai in the backfield with him. Takes a snap, and he'll fake the handoff. Has a wide open, easy touchdown. Mason Johnson with the score from 2 yards out. And the Hawks are an extra point away from tying things up. Great drive by Horace to answer the score from Central, that 2 yard touchdown pass. From Stefanowicz to Johnson, as Birnbaum is on to attempt the extra point. Kick is up and good, and we are tied at 7 apiece with 3:33 to go in the first quarter from Horace High School. You're watching North Dakota Class 2A football on your live event. Dan Gutterson, Joey Hughes back with you here from Horace High. A 2 yard touchdown pass from Taylor Stefanowicz to Mason Johnson. A couple juniors on the connection, and that's one thing you will notice with the Hawks, just because of the infancy of this program. Year 2, you're going to have quite a few juniors and sophomores consume this roster and play some very important minutes. And with 3:33 to go in the first quarter, Stefanowicz found Mason Johnson for the 2 yard touchdown as Birnbaum's kick, a little bit of a knuckler, grabbed at the 15 yard line, and then Grand Forks Central is ridden down from there. Returning the ball was Braden Dirks. And the Knights will set up with the ball at their own 27 yard line. So, offensively, for Central, can they respond? It was an 11 yard touchdown run by Caden Johansson that gave the Knights an early lead, his second of the year. Stefanowicz, though, answered with his 4th touchdown pass of the season to tie things up with 3:33 to go in that first quarter. And Simmers in the offense back out at it for the Knights. He'll go quarterback run to the left side, and again the defense for Horace there to stop him. Simmers is an athlete, listed as a running back on the roster, but clearly one of the quarterbacks and one of the better athletes for this team. Also plays that strong safety position for this defense. Big-bodied young man, 6 feet, 195 pounds. And that is the 3rd or 4th time we have seen the quarterback power, and about the 3rd or 4th time that Horace has been ready for it. Hats off to the defense for the Hawks in this first half. That second drive did go the way of the Knights. A couple penalties aided Grand Forks Central. 1 broken play on this one. It's going to be handoff to Johansson over that right side. Has some room, runs over a couple defenders down to the 31-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play. It will set up a 3rd and 6 for Grand Forks Central. One thing you kind of notice with this Grand Forks Central team, a lot of big, strong dudes. Caden Johansson, 5'8", 195 pounds. We talked about Eric Pay, 6'4", 220. Trey Coons, 6'4", 230. Jack Simmers, tiny almost in comparison to those two dudes. At 6 feet, 195 pounds. Of course, Leo Strandell, wearing number 3 on the outside, 6'2", 180. Coach Jake Schauer wants to take a break with 2:04 left to go in this first quarter to talk it over with his team. We'll break with him as well. 7-7, your score. Horace, Grand Forks Central, all tied up. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
Every Wednesday night at 7, watch the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show, presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region, as we'll hear from area coaches in North Dakota and Minnesota. Plus, we'll highlight area high school seniors on their achievements in the classroom and on the court with our Senior Spotlight. That's the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show, presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation, Wednesday nights at 7 on YourLiveEvent.com.
Dan Gunnarsson back here with Joey Hughes. 7-7 your score. A couple other games that will be getting underway or have already kicked off. I should say beginning underway here. We'll go through those. But Lake Park Audubon versus Ada Bora West. Parker Rapids area versus Hawley. A couple 6:30 kickoffs from the state of Minnesota. We'll get to the rest of that list here in a moment. First, though, 3rd and 6 with 2:04 to go. Simmers looks to his left, pump fakes, runs out. No flag on what looked like a holding. Simmers running out of time, throws it up, and it's intercepted! Picked off, and here come the Hawks! Down the sideline, what a play by Cutter Fuchs! Cooper Fuchs, pardon me. Simmers was feeling pressure on the outside. Had to get rid of that one as Rederath was chasing him. Simmers ends up making the mistake and throwing the interception. Returned by Fuchs to the 15-yard line. And here are the Hawks in the red zone as Johnson's the backfield with Stefanowicz, has some pressure, feeling it, escapes it, rolls out to his left, has to get rid of the ball, and does as it falls harmlessly to the ground. Now, we don't have a whistle. Nope, there it is. There's the incomplete pass. Good pressure put on by the Knights. Stefanowicz got out of the initial rush, couldn't get out of the secondary wave, and throws it incomplete. 2nd and 10 for the 15.
We'll bring it 2nd and 10 for the Hawks.
So Cooper Fuchs, the INT. 1:53 to go in the first. Giving his team phenomenal field position. On this one, it was Toby Rederath or Jack Roxwold, 55-56 on the outside that created the pressure on Simmers. This is a broken play as Stefanowicz looked to his right, thought Johnson was going to run on that side. Instead, Johnson ran to his left. They allowed for an individual on the line from Grand Forks Central to run free, and Simmers did all he could. I should say Stefanowicz did all he could to make sure he didn't end up with the sack. Throws it away, and it'll be 3rd and 10. So Horace offensively being put in some great field position. But haven't been able to gain a yard. And it'll be at a 3rd and 10, and we're going to get a couch timeout from McMahon. With 1:41 to go in the first quarter. We'll keep it right here, tell you what else is on the docket for your live event. Elsewhere in Minnesota, Red Lake County versus Mahnomen-Waubun. And Staples Motley at Pine River Bacchus. That's some Minnesota football for you in the state of North Dakota. And Ellendale Edgeley Calm versus Hillsborough Central Valley. We'll have Kindred versus Lisbon, Richland versus Maple River, and Northern Cass versus Thompson. All 6:30 kickoffs for those games. This one here, a 6 o'clock kickoff. If you're just joining us, wondering how we're 1:41 to go in the first quarter, that is why. The early start time and a lot of action has happened in this one. Both offenses have scored touchdowns in the red zone, and both offenses have turned it over once so far. For Grand Forks Central, and it was an 11-yard touchdown run by Johansson. That was set up by a fumble recovery as Narum for the Hawks had fumbled it at his own 41-yard line. I should say at the Knights' 41-yard line. On the other side of things, Stefanowicz hit Mason Johnson for a 2-yard touchdown pass with 3:31 to go in the first quarter. And then Cooper Fuchs with an interception return to the 15. And that is where we stand right now. 3rd and 10 for this Hawks offense. Stefanowicz, shotgun formation, takes snap, looks to his left, throws to his left, has a receiver out there. It's Gavin Olsen again. He breaks one tackle, breaks another, still churning forward. He's still on his feet. He's close to that first down. Had to get it to about the 5-yard line. I think he is just a yard short of first down distance, but it'll set up a 4th and 1, and right now Coach McMahon has a decision to make. Does he go for it, or does he kick a field goal with Birnbaum? Birnbaum's kickoffs have not been things of beauty. He did hit the one extra point that he had. Timeout is already taken by Horace, and they have 2 remaining in this first half. Play clock already at 10 as Stefanowicz is finally getting out to the huddle to address his team. They break with 6 to go. 5. Now we're under 3. Stefanowicz takes the snap with just 1 to go. Gets that first down past the 5 to the 4-yard line. Needed 1, got 2. Great job of not really hurrying things. Never felt rushed, did Stefanowicz, although I was getting anxious watching that play clock bleed on down. But the first down for the Hawks gives them a 1st and goal from the 4. So Johnson comes on out. Garai is on in for this team. And they'll go 3 wide, 1 tight end, 1 running back. Central looks to be coming on the blitz, and they do. They timed it beautifully as Garai breaks tackle in the backfield. Cuts inside the 5. Flag goes flying, actually hits one of the Horace linemen. Garai does all he can to get back to the 3-yard line. Actually gained a yard, but with where that flag is thrown, I have a feeling this might be holding on the Hawks.
Holding. Offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty.
So a 10-yard penalty at the 4 will push it back to the 14. That penalty on Mason Johnson, who has the touchdown on the reception for the Hawks, now has a penalty. There has been quite a few penalties in this first half. I would say 3, make it 4 on the Hawks if you count the kickoff that went out of bounds. There was one on Grand Forks Central that was declined by Horace, but 4 penalties. And not many small. No penalty is great, but a couple personal foul penalties on face mask. And that holding pushes it at 1st and goal back to the 14. Garai up the middle. Gets past that 10-yard line down to the 9 and a gain of 5. And that is how we end the first quarter with your score. Horace 7, Grand Forks Central 7. We'll pause. When we come back, second quarter action from Horace High School. You're watching North Dakota Class AA EDC football on your live event.
For 20 years, 702 Communications has been connecting people and businesses to the world through internet, telephone, and TV. And as your needs have changed, so has 702. Our dedication to our community and customers runs deep. So when you call, we listen. And you can trust that we'll never stop working to bring the latest technology to our friends and neighbors. Thank you for 20 years in business. The best is yet to come.
Back here at the Horace High School, Dan Gunnarsson alongside Joey Hughes. 7-7 is our score. The Hawks tying things up late in that first quarter, about 3:31 to go in that quarter. Tying things up on a 2-yard touchdown pass from Stefanowicz to Mason Johnson. The Knights scoring with about 6 minutes to go in that first quarter. An 11-yard touchdown run by Johansson. And that's where we stand in this EDC matchup. Right now, it is the Hawks first and goal from the second and goal from the 9-yard line. As they'll flip sides of the field. And the Hawks with the ball, looking to take an early lead. Early second quarter lead, I should say. Johnson in motion. He goes behind Stefanowicz, but he finds a man over the middle, just outside Holzing's hands. He had him. Just let him a little bit too much. Incomplete, third and goal from the 9. It was first and goal from the 4. But a holding penalty on the first down run pushed it back to the 14. Garay ran it for about 5 yards to set up a 2nd and 9 before the quarter break. And now for Horace, as they break the huddle, a 3rd and goal from the 9. They went for it on 4th and 1 from the 6. Will they go for it on 4th and goal, depending on what they get here? The blitz comes. Stefanowicz misses it, tries to go to Holzing again, incomplete. More pressure. Now Stefanowicz is down, rolling on the ground at the 9, I should say at the 20-yard line. And Birnbaum, I believe they're going to bring him out, but first the concern is on Stefanowicz, who is in some pain. While they attend to him, we will pause here with the score. Grand Forks Central 7, Horace 7 with 11:50 to go in the second quarter. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota. If you want help from a firm that has integrity and respect, strives for excellence, and is interested in the betterment of the community, look no farther than Onstead Twitchell Attorneys. Our team of attorneys has dedicated and talented professionals who are committed to improving the lives of their clients and providing custom legal solutions with integrity and excellence. We have offices in West Fargo, Hillsboro, Maddox, Page, and Castleton. Or visit our website, www.onsteadlaw.com.
Back here at Horace Hawks Field, Stefanowicz able to walk off under his own power as he gets some handshakes and hugs from his teammates on the sidelines. Meanwhile, coming on to attempt the extra point, or I should say the field goal for Horace, is Jacob Birnbaum, the 6-foot sophomore, lining up for a 26-yard attempt. From I should say the right hash. Snap is a bad one. It bounced, and the holder's got to take it himself. He's got some room to the left. He runs to the 10, to the 5, gets ripped from behind. No horse collar flag. It looked like there might have been that type of tackle on the play. It was Gavin Olson, the holder, who is now holding his left ankle. He's able to get up, but he's got to limp back towards the sideline. Despite the effort from Olson, it's a turnover on downs. The snap was poor. It bounced up to Olson, who had to do the fire drill to try and get to the end zone. Because it was on the far side hash, he had some room to the near sideline, got to the 3 before he was ripped down by Central, and a turnover on downs. 11:42 to go in the second quarter. Missed point opportunity for Horace, as they could have added on, or I should say take the lead. We'll mark that down as a interesting point in the game, as Simmers and the Grand Forks Central offense will be in the shotgun formation. They're in the end zone. Simmers takes a snap, going to be a quarterback power to the left, cuts back to the right, has some room, gets past another defender, past the 10, past the 15, finally taken down. Looks like one of the referees says he stepped out of bounds before he got to the 20. He's back at the 17-yard line. Still a 14-yard scamper by Simmers. I am at this point believing that is a designed run when they go left and come back right, almost like a quarterback counter, if you will. He has done it so many times. I just don't think the play is actually designed to go to his initial step. Kind of that fool me once, fool me twice type of mentality. So I should learn. Maybe the horse should as well. You end up with your contain kind of crashing down. This time it does go to the left. Simmers does take it that way, picking through horse defenders and finally wrestled down at the 24-yard line. So a gain of 7 on the first down carry. Looks like Simmers and some Horace players having some interesting conversations, potentially about where they're going to spend their birthday at, who's going where for college, when's the next volleyball game that we're going to be cheering at. Definitely those types of conversations, just friendly banter, I am positive, between Central and Horace as they line up here, 2nd and 3. Simmers shotgun formation. Takes the snap. He'll hand it off to Johansson on the left side. Has room. Breaks through a tackle. Goes through another one from Horace and then steps out of bounds. And then a flag as one of the Horace players decked Johansson when he was out of bounds. So he steps out of bounds at the 31 and the flag is thrown at the 36. So 5 yards after the fact. And it'll push him up towards midfield. So they said he was actually hit out of bounds at the 31-yard line because they marked the ball at the 46. So a 15-yard penalty. The third type of 15-yard penalty that Horace has had tonight. Had a face mask. 2 of those, in fact, on the defense. And then a late hit out of bounds. Looked like that one was on Jack Roxwold as the snap. Simmers. It was a blitz. Beautifully done by Horace, but even a better fake by Simmers. Got me all riled up as well as the ball is knocked out late. Boy, Granford, I didn't see a beanie get thrown. The whistle was sounded. I think the back judge is saying no, the whistle was sounded, so he's down. Horace thought it should have been a fumble. Even so, good run by Simmers on the fake of 20 yards from the 46 of the Knights to the 36. Should say 18 yards to the 36 of Horace, and Grand Forks Central running off some chunk runs so far in this drive as they line up shotgun formation. Snap taken. Hand off to the left side, looking for some room. Boy, we got some extracurricular activities here between Horace and Grand Forks Central. Kind of takes you away from the play on the run. It was Gabe Tandy. Gain of 1, actually. The ball was at the 37 to start, so they go to the 36-yard line. Even so, 2nd and 9 for Central.
Initial contact made by number 38, Gabe Falloon.
Gabe Falloon makes the initial penetration. Simmers. Student body left for shift. Simmers takes a snap. He'll run to his left. He sets. He throws deep to the left side. Has a man, and it is picked off. Was he inbounds? No. What a play by Axel Anderson in the back secondary. Meanwhile, Leo Strandell is looking for a penalty. To be quite fair, I think that was just phenomenal defense on the back end by Horace. And an even more incredible play from Axel Anderson. And it'll set up a 3rd and 9. We're the only crew with video capabilities on this one. Horace trying to run off players rather quickly, and they do. So no penalty for too many men on the field. 3rd and 9. Simmers looking around. Plenty of time on the play clock. Takes a shotgun snap. Will give it off on the left side. A little bit of room for Tandy, and then he is taken down up at the 32-yard line. So a gain of 4 will set up a 4th and 5.
On the carry, number 21, Gabe Candy. Stop made by number 5, Xavier Burrow.
It looked like a design play call in the sense that we're going for it on 4th down regardless. Outside of maybe, say, a big loss if you're Grand Forks Central. However, it's 4th and 5 from the 32. Too far to kick, too close to punt. And Simmers in Central. And offsides gets him a 1st down. 7 on the play clock. Down to 5. Simmers will take a timeout and go to the sidelines to talk things over. We'll break as well with 8:36 to go in the second quarter. Your score, Central 7, Horace 7. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
Buying a new home, but worried about the interest rate and terms from your bank? At First Class Mortgage, we'll find a mortgage that fits your needs. Shopping national banks and other lenders for the lowest rate and most affordable terms, saving you time and money. So all you need to worry about is enjoying your new home. First Class Mortgage, our expertise, your peace of mind. Put an expert to work for you. Call today.
Dan Gunnarsson, Joey Hughes with you from Horace High School. It is actually Horace proper. It is not Southwest Fargo, although this is the West Fargo School District. But the way that this town grows, we are right on the cusp of becoming all one large city. There's just a couple small fields between Fargo, West Fargo, and Horace. Grand Forks Central cares nothing about that. They, in fact, took a timeout and punt a short punt that ends up being knocked down by the Central punt recovery team. I believe it was touched even before where they gathered the ball, which is inside the 10. Let's see where they move the ball to. They move it to just right on the 10, and that is where Horace will take over from. So the bad snap and the field goal attempt does not come back to hurt Horace, who ended up having a turnover on downs because of it. Grand Forks Central drive stalls just inside the Horace 40-yard line, and they punt it away. And now the Hawks, and it'll be Stefanowicz, who comes back out after looking to be a little shaken up after the 3rd down play on the last drive. He's back in this one at quarterback for the Hawks. Shotgun formation, takes the snap, hands it off. That looks to be Johnson, and it is. Dylan Johnson churning and working for a 3-yard carry, 2nd and 7. Make sure to stay tuned for the First Class Mortgage halftime show. We will effort scores from around the region, as there are other important games going on up and down the EDC Class 2A landscape, along with conference leader Fargo North at Grand Forks Red River. Shotgun formation for Stefanowicz, throws it underneath. Nice catch, but a better tackle from Grand Forks Central. On the reception, Jackson Narum. And there for the tackle appeared to be Caden Johannesson. When he's in the backfield, he looks like a fullback. When he's on defense, he looks like a linebacker, plays both positions, fits the description. Stocky build, 6 feet. He is a hard hitter, a tough-nosed player, as we heard from Coach Schauer in our pregame show. Stopping Narum short of the 1st down, 3 yards short of the 1st down, in fact, and it's a 3rd and 3. Stefanowicz, shotgun formation again. He'll take the snap. He'll fake the handoff, rolls to his right, looks to his right, throws it out to his right, and then just throws it away. Tried to throw it to, I believe, Holsing. And it ends up going out of bounds. And a 4th down coming up for the Hawks. Awkward looking play because Holsing was blocking downfield. And I don't know if he heard the play as a running play or if it was a passing play. I'm a little bit confused on how he was reacting. in the secondary, not looking for the ball, but looking to push his defender down the field. His defender, knowing exactly what's going on, more than happy to oblige that reaction. And Stefanowicz will punt it away. That one is blocked. It is blocked by Central as it spins down at the 27-yard line. Central got pressure on the left side, making the 26, and the block benefiting the Knights as they will take over from the Hawks' 26-yard line. So Stefanowicz, a lot of pressure to the left side of the defense. And they get a hand on the ball. So the Knights will take over from the 26-yard line of Horace. It's Simmers. They had some things going on the ground that last drive before it sputtered out. Simmers has got a man wide open at Strandell. Touchdown, Knights! 26-yard strike. Leo Strandell on the other end of the reception. And the 6'2 senior scores the touchdown for the Knights. We quickly get up to the line of scrimmage. The Knights, they're going to throw it behind to Simmers, who throws it over the middle. And a two-point conversion is good. Ross Wilbur there for the reception. A goofy-looking design, I think, caught Horace a little bit out of sorts. Give them 8. The Knights grab a 15-7 lead with 6:45 to go in the first half. We'll pause. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
I'm Darian Bitts. I'm confident on and off the field. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nb.gov/confident.
I'm Doug Gray. I'm confident during the performance and when it's time for college. I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
The touchdown pass of 26 yards. Simmers to Strandell. And then a two-point conversion from Simmers to Wilbur. And it is 15-7. Grand Forks Central, just like that. Great call by Jake Schauer and this Grand Forks Central Knight team to go with the deep pass right after a block punt. And I just think Horace was a little bit on their heels. And Grand Forks Central regains the lead halfway through the second quarter. So Wilbur will kick off. This kick to the right side, and it will go caught by Olsen, who runs up the sideline, has a couple blocks, running through tackles of the Knights and past the 40 down to the 41-yard line. Gavin Olsen, who almost ran it in for a touchdown on the bad snap field goal attempt. He's the holder for Horace. Does a good job of taking that ball and running it up the sideline to the 41-yard line. Ball was very close to the out-of-bounds side, so could have been an argument made for letting Olsen just let that one go, but a right decision on his end to receive it and start running with it. And here we are. Stefanowicz in this offense. Dylan Johnson in the backfield. He'll take it, run off left side, has some good blocks, finds a hole, and then runs up the backside of his offensive lineman, Levi Gordon. Pardon me, Carter Skank. Ends up gaining 4 yards on the play to the 45.
Makes it 2nd and 6 for the Hawks.
Shotgun formation, pistol formation, in fact. It's going to be a handoff. Johnson running right, has a hole. Again, just running through his blockers as Johnson Another strong gain trying to put Mason Johnson out of the way. Dylan Johnson was, and he gets it up to the 48-yard line, setting up a 3rd and manageable for the Hawks. One thing that they talk about quite often when it comes to running backs that's really tough to teach is patience. And I think in the last 2 plays, we have seen maybe a little lack thereof from Dylan Johnson because the holes were there at the point of contact. The Hawks had really created a lot of space for Johnson, but he's running into his blockers, which would indicate he's running a little bit too fast. Let's see if he can have some patience here. Does, as he runs through a couple night tackles and gets that first down up to the 48-yard line of the Knights. A gain of 4, needed 3. First down, Hawks. And Johnson patting the top of his helmet. He needs a break. And we'll see if they notice. Garai wearing number 8 out here. He's looking. He's asking to go in.
Johnson on the carry.
Nobody's taking him in. Johnson breaks the huddle. Just seems to be either a little bit winded or a little bit dinged up. We'll see how he does in this play. Stefanowicz takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Johnson. No, it's going to be a reverse around the other end. Here comes Olsen with a ton of room, and Mason Johnson to block him in front of him. Here he goes. Cuts it inside. Taken down inside the 15-yard line. Finally there to wrestle him down on the play. Gavin Olsen with a long run. It looked like Ross Wilbur was finally there to take him down for the Knights. All the way down to the 13-yard line, a 35-yard run for Olsen. And I wonder if Central was feeling the same way that I was about Dylan Johnson. He looked winded, looked like he needed a break. And all of that posturing, and Gavin Olsen comes around the right end for a big 35-yard gain. Stefanowicz going to hand it off to Garai over that right side. Finds a little bit of a crease, gets it down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, and a 1st and 10 to a 2nd and 6. Horace going into the north end zone. Stefanowicz runs to the sideline to get the play and then jogs on out. Horace quickly breaks the huddle. 3 to the left, 1 to the right of Stefanowicz. Garai in the backfield with him. He hands it off to him. He runs up the middle, nowhere to run. Pay there to take him down. Big guy. We're number 32 for Grand Forks Central. 6'4", 220 pounds, that young man. He plays defensive end for the Knights. And he'll be ready to go on this 3rd and 5, a very important 3rd and 5 for Horace at the 8-yard line. Last time that they were inside the 10, they ended up getting points on a touchdown, but it looks like we might have had an offsides here. The pointing coming from the Horace to the Central side. We'll see what the call is. Horace tonight has had a lot of penalties of the 15-yard variety, 3 of them, in fact. Grand Forks Central, not so many. And if it is an offsides, might get the first accepted penalty for them tonight. Here is the call. So a offsides gives the Hawks a 1st down and a 1st and goal. So crucial penalty, whether they're 15 or 5. Doesn't matter the yardage. Penalties always hurt, but sometimes they hurt more than others, and that one certainly does. Because now you're giving Horace a fresh set of downs inside the 5 at the 3. Got to imagine that Coach McMahon and this offense are going to try to punch it in. On the left side, Garai, touchdown! 3 yards out. And Horace has the decision to make. Do they send Birnbaum out? And it looks like the coaches are holding up 1, and they do. So Birnbaum will come out for the extra point attempt with 2:42 to go. in this first half. Again, every time that Central starts to show a little bit of, I would say, separation, Horace has a nice little comeback. So Horace, they line up in a similar formation that the Knights did earlier, but this time instead they're going to go for the extra point. Birnbaum, snap is good, hold is down, kick is up and through. 15-14 our score. Grand Forks Central leads Horace by a point with 2:42 to go in the first half. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is hiring a full-time play-by-play sports announcer and broadcast sales representative. Duties include selling advertising time for radio, digital, video streaming, and regional cable TV. Play-by-play responsibilities include live play-by-play of local sporting events for radio, video streaming, and regional cable TV broadcasts. Wage plus talent and commission pay structure with full-time benefits package offered. For more information or to apply, email apply@rjbroadcasting.com. That's apply@rjbroadcasting.com.
15-14 your score. Garai with a 3-yard touchdown run for him. That is his 4th score of the season. It ties him for the team lead with Dylan Johnson, who also has 4 rushing touchdowns as well. More importantly, it puts the Hawks within a point of the Knights here in the second quarter. 2:42 to go. Grand Forks Central won the toss to begin this game and receive, so the Hawks will get the ball to start the second half of this game. In between that, we'll have the First Class Mortgage halftime show. We hope you stay tuned with us as we recap what happened in this first half, try to get some scores from around the region, and prepare you for the second half of action. Birnbaum's kick on Knuckler, that again goes out of bounds. So an illegal procedure. Last time this happened, Grand Forks Central had them re-kick it. I got to believe that they're just going to take the field position this time around. When they had them re-kick it, it ended up actually being a touchback, and they had to start on the 20. And this time they're going to elect to take the ball at the 35-yard line. All my years of watching football, and that's many years, I had never seen a team make another team re-kick the ball from 5 yards back. So Grand Forks Central pulled off a first for me tonight, which is somewhat difficult to do considering how much time I have invested watching sports. So congratulations to Grand Forks Central for doing something unique. Didn't work, and this time they go with the standard ball at the 35 with 2:42 to go in this first half. Simmers fakes a handoff, steps back now, has a clear lane to run on the right side, a little juke step past the 40, past the 45, lowers his shoulder at the 47-yard line and steps out of bounds at the 48. So a 13-yard gain and a first down for Simmers.
First down, Grand Forks Central.
The out-of-bounds run stops the clock with 2:33 to go, and Simmers, plenty of yards on the ground tonight. He stands at a shotgun formation with Johannesson back with him. Takes snap, he's going to hand it off to Johannesson, who slips in the backfield but regains his footing just long enough to run back to the line of scrimmage, where a host of Hawks meet and dump Johannesson. They're going to give him 1 yard on that first down run and set up a 2nd and 9.
Makes it 2nd and 9 for the Knights. Ladies and gentlemen, at halftime, we have the Little Hawks.
2 minutes to go, first half, 2nd and 9. Ball on the Grand Forks Central 49 as Simmers takes it, runs to his left, throws to his left, too far and picked off. He was looking for Strandale, and there with the pickoff for the Hawks is Charlie Lashevsky. Playing center field, comes up with the interception, the second of the game thrown by Simmers. As Lashevsky And the Hawks are in business. Ball at their own 23-yard line. Simmers, who connected with Strandale on a 26-yard touchdown connection earlier in this quarter. Thought they were going to do the same again, but this time Leszewski had other ideas. Second interception thrown by Simmers in this one. And it looks like we have an injury timeout on the far sideline for Grand Forks Central, right around their 40-yard line. That player, Brandon Dirks, is going to be held off onto the sideline by one of the coaches to be talked to. Both of these coaches talked about the health that they had coming into this game. And while we've seen a couple of nicks here and there, I don't think we've had any significant issues. The one of greatest concern was Taylor Stefanowicz, but he was able to get back up and come back out on the very next series. Didn't even miss an offensive play. And he's back out there with 1:41 to go in the second quarter. After the Leszewski interception, Stefanowicz will throw it to his left, and there's Olsen. He runs up, has a couple blockers on the outside, cannot get out of the grasp of the Central defender. Coming up and making the tackle was Gabe Tandy, as Olsen moves the ball 5 yards up to the 28, and Horace in the hurry-up offense, 2nd and 5.
5-yard completion.
Shotgun formation. Stefanowicz takes it, looks over to his right, throws over to his right, has Olsen, but he leads him too much. And Olsen on the dive had to stretch a little bit, kind of shaking himself off as he picks himself up, and he'll set up a 3rd and 5.
We'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Right here, it's about being smart. With the ball, no turnovers. Could even see a draw at this point with 15 on the play clock as Horace breaks the huddle. I believe both teams have 2 timeouts left in this half. Johnson in the backfield does take the carry over the left side and then is walloped in the backfield by Grand Forks Central. It looked to be Nas Fisher back there, and he was. Fisher, 5'10", sophomore for Central, and we're going to get a timeout from the Knights with 59 seconds to go in this first half. We will pause as well. 15-14 your score and a minute to go in this first half. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event. Dan Gutterson, Joey Hughes with you from Horace High School. Horace stands on its own. It's its own town, but is part of the West Fargo School District. And the growth of West Fargo is such that Horace is slowly but surely becoming a part of the West Fargo community. And a little confusion coming out of the break. It was 4th and 5, and because of it, Horace has got to call a timeout after the Grand Forks Central timeout. So now both teams have a timeout remaining in this first half. 59 seconds to go. We'll keep it right here. Again, first half action. Glad that you're with us. At the break, it'll be the First Class Mortgage halftime show. First Class Mortgage, more than just our company name, it's the way they do business. Whether you're buying a new home or refinancing your existing mortgage, their dedicated team takes the time to understand your financial situations. They provide first-class service, first-class knowledge, and a first-class experience at the lowest interest rates. For more information, go online to firstclasscorp.com. PregamePrepaid.com. Like I said, we'll try to get you some scores from around the region. Plenty of action going on this beautiful Friday evening in the Red River Valley. Couldn't have asked for better weather following a pretty intense storm early on this morning. Hail up and down the valley. Very dark clouds gathered over the FM and surrounding area, but clear skies tonight for these Friday night lights. Stefanowicz back. Looks like he's in a position to punt. Jack Simmers back for the Knights. Stefanowicz takes it. He gets off a beautiful kick that drives Simmers back to the 30. He gathers, starts coming forward, stops at the 32, reverses field. Looking for his blockers, trying to find some room. Cannot. Swallowed up. Great job coverage-wise by the Hawks. There on the tackle, Blake Johnson, the junior for the Hawks. And the Knights will take over at their own 30, I would say 3-yard line. That's where they'll place the ball down. And now the question with 46 seconds to go. Do the Knights try to push the envelope a little bit, or do they take a knee and go into the break with a 1-point lead? Horace does get the ball to begin the second half. And as things stand, I feel like both teams are fairly happy with how things are shaping up. A couple of electric plays throughout this game, a couple of turnovers for both sides as well. Simmers and the Knights know they want more. They throw it over the middle, and it is almost intercepted. What a break on the ball by Axel Anderson.
Almost picked off by number 15, Axel Anderson.
Simmers threw it up the middle for grab. It looked like Anderson playing his own defense. Kind of was splitting out to the left. Great coverage on that side. Reading the quarterback, broke on the ball beautifully. Just a step slow in getting that ball. Had he picked it off, he had some room over to the right side. Could have taken it deep into Knight territory as it is. Shotgun formation. Simmers got to keep the ball. The edge had held it, but Simmers puts him on the deck and then puts himself on the deck. Too many jukes. And he falls down at the 38-yard line, gain of 5. No timeout signal from either sideline. The Knights will hang on. Horace not going to extend this half at all, and I don't think the Knights are either. As the clock slowly melts away on this first half, this score, 15-14, will remain here for the break before we get to the third quarter. A great first half of action between these two Class 2A EDC schools. The Knights at the break hold on to a 15-14 lead over the Horace Hawks. And we pause. When we come back, the halftime show, the First Class Mortgage halftime show. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
At Enbridge, we believe sustainability is the foundation of our success. How well we perform as a steward of our environment, a safe operator of essential energy infrastructure, a good neighbor, and a diverse employer defines our success. Learn more about Enbridge's environmental, social, and governance commitments and our Indigenous Reconciliation Plan at enbridge.com.
Let's get real. Get ready for a place that's big enough to grow and small enough to care. The University of Minnesota Crookston offers more than 35 majors, minors, and certificates. Earn a University of Minnesota degree, where you can make a difference in a close-knit community. Faculty become friends, and friends feel like family. You don't need a big city, just big dreams. The University of Minnesota Crookston. Real, hands-on, and will get you ready for anything.
Every farmer has a good story about picking rocks. Want to hear ours? To this day, we pick rocks on our founder's farm, and they go into every Bell Bank branch we build. How's that for rock-solid commitment?
Every bank wants you to open an account. Then along come sneaky fees. Sneaky, sneaky. If you hate sneaky fees, switch to Bell Bank. We give sneaky fees the boot. Bell Bank.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in North Dakota. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the NDHSAA and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Keep your job site stocked with reliable service from Prairie Supply Inc., the contractor's headquarters. Our team specializes in everything concrete. That means hand tools and equipment, rebar of all shapes and sizes, concrete forming packages and ICFs, decorative concrete materials like color, stain, sealers, and coatings. And let's not forget our impressive fleet of winter construction equipment to keep the concrete flowing all year round. If you've got concrete questions, we've got concrete answers at Prairie Supply Inc., the contractor's headquarters. Visit us today at any of our 6 locations.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our growers. Your trust and fellowship is the driving force behind our dedication to your successful farming operation. We continue to invest in the education of our team to ensure your customer experience is outstanding. Thank you for the opportunity to be your planter experts. Stop by either of our locations in Hillsboro or Drayton, North Dakota, or visit planterdoc.com.
Back here on your live event, the First Class Mortgage halftime show is underway. And what a fun first half it was between the Horace Hawks and the Grand Forks Central Knights. Both these teams coming in with a 2-3 overall record. Horace holds a half-game lead over Grand Forks Central by way of having a 2-2 EDC record, as opposed to Central's 1-2 EDC record. We do have a score from Fargo North. The Spartans tied with Grand Forks Red River at 14 apiece. That is the last update we have for you on that contest. Grand Forks Red River sits squarely in between these two teams, a 1-1 EDC record, but 4-2 overall. That would indicate they're a much better team than their EDC record would show. Fargo North, the team to beat, last year's state champions at 5-0, just a phenomenal Spartan squad, 221 total points. This year, only 56 points given up. Grand Forks, Red River, and North tied in that one. The other games going along the EDC, you have Jamestown at Dickinson High, Valley City at Wahpeton. Devil's Lake is at Turtle Mountain. Watford City is on a bye. And, of course, Fargo South playing up against the AAA competition of Fargo Davies tonight as well. As those scores become available, we will bring them to you as well. First half action here, though. Let's give you a little bit of a recap, a little bit of flavor on this one between these two teams. We start in the first quarter. The Hawks, after a 3-and-out, have the ball and end up fumbling it at the Grand Forks Central 41-yard line. Narum with the fumble recovered by Grand Forks Central just under 3 minutes later. It was a Johansson touchdown run from 11 yards out with 6:32 to go in the first half. The extra point was good to tie things up at 7. Horace has been their mantra tonight, answered rather quickly. Coming down, marching down the other end of the field. A big run by Dylan Johnson, 47 yards, set up the Hawks to get into the end zone from 2 yards out. Stefanowitz found Mason Johnson with 3:33 to go in that first quarter. The 2-yard touchdown pass and extra point tied things up at 7 apiece. Later in that first quarter, Cooper Fuchs came up with an interception of Jack Simmers, one of 2 interceptions Simmers would throw in that first half. However, the Hawks were not able to turn that into points, and things stayed tied at 7 apiece. Early on, second quarter, the reason that we were able to stay tied at 7 apiece was a bad snap that Gavin Olson was able to gather in from 16 yards away. He ran it all the way into the 3, but it was a 4th and goal, and so no touchdown, no first down, a turnover on downs. And Red River would take that and turn that into points a possession later. 6:45 to go in that first half. Jack Simmers found Leo Strandell after a blocked punt. One play later, Strandell is strutting into the touchdown for the 26-yard reception. Then on the extra point, it was Simmers again on a unique, almost trick formation. He found Wilbur in the back of the end zone, and it was 15-7 with 6:45 to go in that first half. Horace again would respond with a beautiful drive, capped off by a 3-yard touchdown run by Garai with 2:42 to go in the second quarter. And the extra point made it 15-14 as well. Jack Simmers, by the way, would throw one more interception with a $1:41 to go in that first half to Leshevsky. And Horace wouldn't be able to do anything with it, but they held Grand Forks Central out of the end zone and allowed for the Hawks to keep things just a point behind as they went into the break. So your score as it stands at the break, Grand Forks Central 15, Horace 14. A little recap here on the First Class Mortgage halftime show. When we come back, we'll get you ready for second half action from Horace High. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
Every Wednesday night at 7, watch the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region, as we'll hear from area coaches in North Dakota and Minnesota. Plus, we'll highlight area high school seniors on their achievements in the classroom and on the court with our Senior Spotlight. That's the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation, Wednesday nights at 7 on YourLiveEvent.com.
For 20 years, 702 Communications has been connecting people and businesses to the world through internet, telephone, and TV. And as your needs have changed, so has 702. Our dedication to our community and customers runs deep. So when you call, we listen. And you can trust that we'll never stop working to bring the latest technology to our friends and neighbors. Thank you for 20 years in business. The best is yet to come.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota. If you want help from a firm that has integrity and respect, strives for excellence, and is interested in the betterment of the community, look no farther than Onstead Twitchell Attorneys. Our team of attorneys has dedicated and talented professionals who are committed to improving the lives of their clients and providing custom legal solutions with integrity and excellence. We have offices in West Fargo, Hillsborough, Maddox, Page, and Castleton. Or visit our website, www.onsteadlaw.com.
Buying a new home, but worried about the interest rate and terms from your bank? At First Class Mortgage, we'll find a mortgage that fits your needs. Shopping national banks and other lenders for the lowest rate and most affordable terms. Saving you time and money. So all you need to worry about is enjoying your new home. First Class Mortgage. Our expertise, your peace of mind. Put an expert to work for you. Call today.
I'm Darian Bitts. I'm confident on and off the field. And when it's time for college, I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
I'm Doug Gray. I'm confident during the performance and when it's time for college. I'm confident Bank of North Dakota will help me make good student loan decisions. Visit bnd.nd.gov/confident.
Back here on the First Class Mortgage halftime show, we have some updates for you from around the Your Live event community. Maple River taking on Richland first half. It is Maple River 22-0. Just 4:29 left to go in that first quarter. Monoman Waubun taking on Red Lake County. That score, 0-0 with 11:28 to go in that first half. Lisbon and Kindred are a point separation, 8-7. That one in the first quarter. Hillsborough Central Valley trailing Edgeley Ellendale Calms 7-0. That one just about the end of the first quarter there. Holly up 7-0 on the Park Rapids area with 18 seconds to go in that first quarter. Lake Park Audubon taking on Ada Borup. That one is 8-0 is your score. Lake Park Audubon with the lead at the end of one. And Northern Cass taking on Thompson. The score is tied at 6 apiece. Just a minute to go in that first quarter. Those are the updates from around the Your Live event community, around the EDC as it stands. We've just got one update for you, although it is an important one to mention. We had said North and Red River were tied at 14 apiece. Well, North has gone off 3 unanswered touchdowns and has taken a 35-14 lead at the break up in Grand Forks, 35-14. Your score, the Spartans leading the Rough Riders in that pivotal Class 2A matchup. Pivotal one here as well. Horace, a win here will put them a little bit closer to the top of those standings and a better opportunity at making the postseason. A loss will bring them back a little bit closer to the bottom of the standings. Meanwhile, the Knights of Grand Forks Central looking to rebound after the bye week and start the second half off with a bang. That's going to do it for our First Class Mortgage halftime show. When we come back, second half kickoff from Horace High. You're watching North Dakota High School football on Your Live event.
R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is hiring a full-time play-by-play sports announcer and broadcast sales representative. Duties include selling advertising time for radio, digital, video streaming, and regional cable TV. Play-by-play responsibilities include live play-by-play of local sporting events for radio, video streaming, and regional cable TV broadcasts. Wage plus talent and commission pay structure with full-time benefits package offered. For more information or to apply, email apply@rjbroadcasting.com. That's apply@rjbroadcasting.com.
Dan Gunderson, Joey Hughes with you as the second half about to kick off here in Horace High School. Our thank you to First Class Mortgage for the halftime show sponsorship. First Class Mortgage is more than just our company name. It's the way that we do business. Whether you're buying a new home or refinancing your existing mortgage, their dedicated team takes the time to understand your financial situation. They provide first-class service, first-class knowledge, and a first-class experience at the lowest interest rates. For more information, go online to First Class Corporation, or I should say firstclasscorp.com. Let's get things underway. Second half action from Horace High. The Knights, the Hawks, ready to go here. A little second half football for you between these two teams. Ross Wilbur set to kick off for the Knights. Back to receive, Lucas Bauer, along with Gavin Olson. Wilbur has the ball teed up, and we are away as Olsen will take it inside the 5, runs up the middle, looking for some room, a little jip step, has some room, breaks it. Oh, I thought he had broken through past the 35. Looked to be a potential touchdown-saving tackle from the Central cover team. And Olsen has the Hawks set up some good starting field position all the way to the 37-yard line. For Horace.
By the Hawks, number 3, Gavin Olson.
Stefanowicz. Shotgun formation, takes snaps, going to hand it off to Johnson over the right side, and he is taken down past the 40. Pardon me, right at the 40. Gain of 3 for Johnson. And the Hawks will come out with a 2nd and 7 offensively. Horace seemed to start moving the ball pretty well running-wise towards the end of that first half. Would like to see if Johnson can continue that momentum here throughout this one. We'll throw it to the left side. It's Johnson, has some blockers in front of him, picks his way past the first down, and then is shoved into the Knights bench. Should say sideline. First down reception past the 47-yard line up to the 48-yard line, and a first down for the Hawks. Gavin Olsen, been very impressed with his speed tonight, and would envision a second half where he's going to get plenty of opportunities to get open touches in the open field. So he pushes out to the right, and again, they'll do a little swing pass to him. He's got blocks out there too. Tried to break a tackle, could not, just gets up to the 50. Great pursuit by the defense of Central on the tackle.
Gavin Olson, gain of about 2 yards on the play. Stop made by number 8.
Tyler Whalen with the stop. Gain of 2. Set up a 2nd and 8. Great crowd here tonight for this matchup. Getting an opportunity to see a very fun game as Garai's got some room off the left side, stays on his feet, cuts it inside the 50. No, they say he was cut down. I thought he kept above the turf, but instead they say he was chopped down at the 49, so a loss of 1. And they'll set up a 3rd and 9 for the Hawks. Boy, it really felt like Garai had avoided falling onto the ground on that one. But good job by the Central defense, setting up a 3rd and 9 for the Horace offense. The wind is starting to pick up a little bit here at Horace High. Coming out of the south. Stefanowicz has got to throw into a little bit of a breeze. Has some room too far. Looking for Holsing. And threw it over his head, and now Stefanowicz is down again. On his back. It's the second time we've seen this with Stefanowicz tonight, unfortunately for him. He's taken a couple big shots from the Grand Forks Central defense. We didn't have to see it last time because before, what happened was the Hawks came out to kick a field goal. Ended up being a turnover on downs. But the question would be now, if Stefanowicz is unable to come back in, who is the backup quarterback for this team? You've got both Austin Allen, a sophomore, and Axel Anderson, a junior, listed at the quarterback position for the Hawks. Horace hoping They don't have to worry about that. They will have to punt. And Stefanowicz is their punter as he is able to get off the deck and walk off under his own power. So a good sign for Horace. But a 4th and 9 will end up causing them to punt this one away. Stefanowicz does have to come off the field. Or at least I assume he does. The game was stopped because of an injury. And I think one of the far side judges is pointing. Stefanowicz has to come out of the game. So a new punter will come on for Horace. That'll be Cole Oliveri.
Checking for the Hawks is number 6, Cole Oliveri.
He stands at his own 40. And again, the wind kind of blowing in from the south. Gets it away. Line drive kick. I don't know if that was tipped, but it takes a Hawks bounce. Comes back from the 20, and Horace will pick it up at the 21-yard line. That's where Grand Forks Central will start things out from. Jack Simmers and this offense. A couple touchdowns for this team. Simmers to Strandell. And then a Johansson 11-yard touchdown run. Comprised the 2 6-point scores, an extra point, and then a 2-point conversion as well. And that's the reason that Central's got the lead. 2-point conversion allowed for the Knights to have that 1-point advantage going into the break. Now let's see if this Grand Forks Central offense can do anything in this second half. Going to hand it off to Johannesson over the right side. Has a little bit of room past the 25 as he burrows his way to the 26-yard line. And a gain of 5 on a first down carry. Dan Gunnarsson, Joey Hughes with you.
Stop made by the Hawks, number 30, Blake Johnson.
2nd and 5 coming on up for the Knights.
Gain of about 5 yards on the play makes it 2nd and 5 for the Knights.
Shotgun formation for Simmers. Johannesson in the backfield with him. He'll run to the left and then has some room. No, he's met pretty immediately. It looked like he had a little bit of room, but closed upon quickly by the Hawks defense. Roxwald ends up taking him down. Roxwald, who had an unfortunate personal foul penalty in that first half. That young man, he plays with a little bit of an edge, and sometimes that edge can get you in trouble. There's a fine line between aggressive and too aggressive. And Roxwald, and I would say his counterpart as well, Rederath, both have to tow it. 55 and 56 for Horace. And it's a big 3rd down. Let's see if either of those two can make a play. This throw over the middle, and it's caught and brought in beautifully. Running over the middle and free was Trey Kuntz, who reached up and grabbed that ball. That young man is 6'4", and he had to use all his frame to bring in that pass down to the 39-yard line. A gain of 13 on a first down for the Knights on a 3rd and 5. One of the players for Horace down on the play wasn't able to see who or what may have happened. It looked like in the area of the tackle where Kuntz was brought down. And we'll keep it right here as it looks like the injured Hawk player is going to be able to get off under his own power. Again, one of the things that we came into this game knowing is these two teams are very healthy, as that one's Axel Anderson, in fact, who is taking a moment to walk it off. But both of these teams healthy for the most part coming into this game. And so far it seems as if they're going to be able to, they've stayed that way throughout. We've seen a couple of Hawks players hit the deck and take a moment to get on back up. But the way that Axel Anderson is moving on the sidelines, I believe that he is going to be okay and may come back in after this one play. A 1st and 10. Simmers takes a snap. It's going to be a quarterback power to the right. Now he stretches it out past the 40, past the 45, past the 50. He's free to the 40. And then cut down just outside of there to the 38-yard line. A strong run of 23 yards for Jack Simmers. However, there is a flag back towards the line of scrimmage. So all of that 23 yards for naught as the hold on Hayden Olson, one of the linemen for this Central squad. In fact, Hayden Olson is the starting right tackle, which makes sense considering where that ball went. And Simmers and those quarterback powers, they've been able to find little creases here and there, but for the most part, he's been bottled up on those types of runs. It has been rare that we have seen him be able to bounce it out to the outside as aggressively as he did on that play, and there was a reason for that. So 1st and 19 now, back at the 32-yard line. It's a screen to Eric Payee inside. He's got room. Big boy running over, boys. Down the midfield, and all of that yardage plus some back. An 18-yard gain. He fell at the 50, but they say he was down at the 48. Needed to get to the 50 for a first down. He's a yard short. 49 of the first down, so he's a yard short of that. So go from 1st and 19 to 2nd and 1. That young man, we've talked about it before, but he is large. Eric Payee, 6'4", 220. And he is not afraid to get physical. 2nd and 1. It's Simmers up the middle. He's got the first down into Hawks territory, down at the 48-yard line. Gain of 4 and a first down for the Knights with 7 minutes to go in this third quarter. 7 and change, really. It's 15-14 Grand Forks Central, putting together a solid drive here. Their first of the second half. They kicked off to begin this quarter. The Hawks were able to move the ball a little bit, but ultimately had to punt from their own 40. And Central took over at the 21. And right now with the ball just on the other side of the 50, it's Simmers. 1st and 10. Has to dive out of the way of trouble and is able to make something out of nothing. It looked like a broken play in the backfield.
Quarterback gets to the line, back to the line of scrimmage.
Ran into Johannesson, and a couple of Hawks players were there to pounce. The athleticism of Simmers able to get him all the way to the 49 anyways. But no gain on the play. Could have been a loss, but instead, 2nd and 10. Another thing we've seen from these offenses tonight, not a lot of lost yardage plays. Either 0 or a couple positive plays, but they do a good job of moving the ball forward as Simmers will take it, try to find a hole. He's trying to run patiently. Not a lot of room there. In fact, no room as he's run out of bounds at the 49 and a 3rd and 10 upcoming.
No gain on the play.
One of the Hawks players signaling to the side. He needs a break. He needs a breather, and he's going to get one. Coming off appears to be Redorath. No, that's Roxworld. And into the game, Kazan Nord. 3rd and 10, and a very big 3rd and 10 here as we've gotten past the halfway point of the third quarter. First drive of the second half for the Knights. Can they continue it, or will it stall here? Simmers passes over the middle, and it is caught, but it's short of the first down. Needed to get to the 39, down at the 40. As Strandell ends up making the catch for the Knights. So it'll set up a 4th and 1, and Coach Schauer has a decision to make at this spot on the field. Do you punt, or do you go for it up 1? Looks like they're going to go for it as Roxwold is back into the game. And I think this is a smart decision. The way that your offense has been working, 1 yard shouldn't be that tough. Haven't been stopped in the backfield all night. Simmers will take the snap, but no. I believe we are going to get a flag on the play. I think there was a false start on Central. And we'll see what the call is. It looked like Central jumped early. And it was a false start on Central on a 4th and short. A devastating penalty for Central. That one's on Landon Lima with the penalty, and because of that, now Central is going to have to punt. Wilbur back at his own 40. Boy, that is a tough penalty to take. Maybe something to mark down with about 5:25 to go in this third quarter. Grand Forks Central ends up getting a false start. Oh, no, and there it is. So an aggressive move by Horace on the punt block attempt. They run into Wilbur, and it's going to be running or roughing. That it would be the big determination. But, boy, the coaches from Horace are asking, hey, was that tipped? Was that tipped? That's what they're looking for. Horace did recover the muff punt, so we'll see what the penalty is, if it's running or roughing. They're asking if it was tipped. I believe we are going to get a roughing, which would be a personal foul penalty. The discussion is short-lived, and the hope is dies there, as it is a 15-yard penalty on Horace. So one tough penalty leads to another, as the penalty ends up being on Cooper Fuchs. Fuchs, who had that interception, now has that penalty to deal with on his conscience. And it looked like Horace was going to get the ball back, holding Central at midfield, but instead the penalty moves the ball to the 29 with 4:55 to go in this third quarter. Shotgun formation. For Simmers. Takes a snap, and he's going to hand it off to Johannesson off the left side. He has plenty of room. Tries to go through the defender out there on the left side for the Hawks. This is Johansson's run. Ends up in a couple yards. That's Xavier Burrow standing his ground. The young man does a good job of holding Johnson to just a yard. Make it 2 up to the 28. They move the ball back slightly right before the snap to the 30. So a 2nd and 8 coming up for Central. It has been a fast-moving third quarter. Only the first possession for the Knights of this quarter. Hawks had theirs, had to punt it away. Simmers, little play action, run up the middle, but again, Horace there to meet him. It's just taking him down initially has been a challenge. Simmers, who was hit at about the 27-yard line, spins free and down to the 23-yard line, and a gain of 5, setting up a 3rd and 3.
Makes it 3rd and 3.
And I would expect that Central is going to take 2 plays if needed to try and get a first. We'll see if Horace can hold him here. The last third down, a little bit more distance, but Horace was able to hold him on a 3rd and 10. The Knights' false start on a 4th and 1 caused them to try and punt. Then a personal foul roughing the punter penalty gave the Knights a first down. It's got a man wide open, and he throws an interception. He throws an interception. He was looking underneath, and the ball is picked off. The Hawks, the interception, Mason Johnson, what a game for him. But what a miss for the Knights. Boy, it looked like Leo Strandell was all alone in the end zone. No one, and I mean absolutely no one, between him and North Fargo. He was so open, and Simmers just never saw him. Throws the interception to Mason Johnson, and the Hawks with the first big play of the second half, and a 3rd interception throw by Simmers with 3:27 to go. Handoff up the middle. Carrying bodies is Johnson. And he is taken down after a gain of 3 up to the 20-yard line. So Mason Johnson now has a touchdown and an interception tonight. What a game for that young man. Shotgun formation for Stefanowicz. Looks over to his left side, throws it to his left side, and it is almost intercepted and almost caught on the outside. He was looking for Israel Bauer. There on the coverage was Braden Dirks for Central, and he'll bring up a 3rd and 7. So Stefanowicz gets the call in from the sidelines. And the play clock now at 10 as they break the huddle. No delays of game. Delay of games, delay of game, penalties on the Hawks tonight. They use a lot of that play clock. It'll be a play action, then a throw out to the left side. It was Mason Johnson who drops the ball and then hit, and there's the flag. And then a pushing from Central. And to be expected, this game has been a little bit chippy from both sides. Some pushing and shoving after the whistle. Mason Johnson did get lit up. Sometimes you see that flag thrown, sometimes you don't, and I think that's what this discussion is going to be about. And the reason being is that it is such a bang-bang play. We'll see. And they do stick with the penalty call. Tough to stop as Jack Simmers is hit with the personal foul, and that penalty extends the drive for Horace. That was going to be a 3rd down and a punt upcoming. But again, that is a really tough call to make if you're a referee because it is such a bang-bang play. I feel like they made the right call on that one, and the penalty extends the drive. Throw out to the left. He's got a man. Oh! Had a player running free down the sideline, did Stefanowicz. He looked left, came back right, had Lucas Holzing, but the pass carried a little bit too far out of bounds. Holzing unable to bring it in, and it is a incomplete pass, 2nd down. .222 to go in this 3rd quarter. Tight contest throughout. Hawks, offensively, haven't really been able to move the ball through the air. It's been most swing passes behind the line of scrimmage and runs with Johnson, but they're going to throw it again, and this one is popped up in the air and almost intercepted. Stefanowicz throw too high as he was looking over the middle. Jackson Narum was open. Narum stands at 5'9", 155 pounds, the sophomore. Stefanowicz, 6'4", 170 pounds. When he releases the ball, feels like it's a foot above Narum. At that height difference, over the top throw for Stefanowicz. So he takes a snap, looks to his left, throws it underneath to Olsen, who can't wiggle free from a strong tackle on the outside. That one brought down Gabe Tandy. And that 3rd down play goes for just a couple yards, and will set up a 4th and 8. And the Hawks will punt. It'll be Oliveri again to punt. Oh, pardon me, Stefanowicz, I should say. Oliveri punted last time for the Hawks, got her down to the 20. It's been somewhat of a risk-reward, if you will, the punts. The risk is just punting it all. The reward is getting it away. This time, though, Central doesn't go after Stefanowicz as he puts it out to the right, and just a poor punt at that. Only gets to the 44-yard line of Grand Forks Central.
At about the 44-yard line.
And
where the Knights will take over 1st and 10.
Just a net yard of about 23 yards on that punt. Pardon me, 19 yards to the 44. And with a minute 26 to go in this 3rd quarter, the Knights will set up in great field position. Shotgun Simmers, he's going to hand it off up the middle. Johannesson has very little room, but he's still churning those powerful legs down to the 49-yard line. Strong 5-yard run by Johannesson.
As the running back
It has been tough sledding for him tonight. He has the 11-yard touchdown run. But past that, really hasn't had many big carries. The longest run that we have had that has stood, Dylan Johnson, a 47-yard scamper in the first half. But both teams have struggled to move the ball in chunks. And right now, 2nd and 5 under a minute to go in the third quarter. It's Johannesson again. Past the 50, then swung down at the 46-yard line. 47-yard line and a yard short of first down territory. So it'll set up a 3rd and 1. And if the Knights don't want to get a playoff before the end of the game clock, they don't have to. Play clock at 15, game clock at 10. Simmers steps like he will, and he will take the play. He'll hand it off Johannesson, who is, I think he's going to be, nope, he's going to get the first down. Looked like he might have been short, but that second effort gives him the first down at the 45-yard line, and the Knights moved the chains. And when we start the fourth quarter, Grand Forks Central will have a fresh set of downs and a 1-point lead. 15-14, your score. Grand Forks Central on top of Horace. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
At Enbridge, we believe sustainability is the foundation of our success. How well we perform as a steward of our environment, a safe operator of essential energy infrastructure, a good neighbor, and a diverse employer defines our success. Learn more about Enbridge's environmental, social, and governance commitments and our Indigenous Reconciliation Plan at enbridge.com.
Let's get real. Get ready for a place that's big enough to grow and small enough to care. The University of Minnesota Crookston offers more than 35 majors, minors, and certificates. Earn a University of Minnesota degree, where you can make a difference in a close-knit community. Faculty become friends, and friends feel like family. You don't need a big city, just big dreams. The University of Minnesota Crookston. Real, hands-on, and will get you ready for anything.
Dan Gunderson, Joey Hughes back with you here from Horace High School, your live event, bringing you this North Dakota Class 2A football game. Make sure to stay tuned for the post-game show brought to you by Tommy's Express Car Wash. We'll name the Enbridge Energy Player of the Game and talk about the RDK Enterprises Precision Play of the Game. 15-14, your score. Grand Forks Central with the ball. Just got a fresh set of downs before the end of that third quarter on a Johannesson run to the Hawks' 45-yard line. That's where they start this fresh set of downs. The play action, Simmers looks to his left, has pressure, pushes off a defender, but he's running for his life. At the 45, stops, just chucks it up, and it's intercepted! It's intercepted! It's Leshevsky! He's got blockers! Into night territory! And down to the 40! And then we get a penalty behind the play, as it looked like one of the Hawks had buried one of the Knights players behind everything. Coming up a little bit lame is Ryder McNally. And it was Toby Rederath who took the player down back at the Hawks' 46-yard line. The interception returned by Leshevsky to the 40. The fourth interception thrown by Simmers, and that one just completely ill-advised. I think we're going to get another personal foul penalty on the Hawks. This is, I believe, their fourth. An illegal blindside block on this one. So the 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. So they push the ball back to the 31. A great play by Leshevsky to come up with that interception. However, the Hawks have consistently shot themselves in the foot tonight. 4 personal foul penalties. at just the most inopportune times, it feels like. The second one of this half. That one coming off the interception. They get the ball, and it's Johnson running with a purpose down to the 35-yard line and a gain of 4. We've had a late hit out of bounds. We've had a face mask. We have had the roughing the punter, and then this one. And that one itself, nearly a 30-yard penalty. The ball, had the penalty not occurred, and for no reason did it need to occur, would have been sitting at the Grand Forks Central 40. Instead, they push it all the way back to just outside the 30 of Horace, and that's where the Hawks had to take over from on a 1st down and 10. The 2nd and 6-yard run by Dylan Johnson up to the 35, and he is down. So no yards gained on that 2nd and 6 carry, and Johnson face down. It appears to be in quite a bit of pain. 10:49 to go in this game. 15-14 your score. Grand Forks Central with the lead. We're going to pause as they attend to the injured player on the field. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
Every farmer has a good story about picking rocks. Want to hear ours? To this day, we pick rocks on our founder's farm, and they go into every Bell Bank branch we build. How's that for rock-solid commitment?
Every bank wants you to open an account. Then along come sneaky fees. Sneaky, sneaky. If you hate sneaky fees, switch to Bell Bank. We give sneaky fees the boot. Bell Bank.
Dan Gunnarsson, Joey Hughes back with you as Johnson's able to walk off under his own power, thankfully. So, as he gets to the sidelines, standing by one of the trainers, but we will see if he's able to re-enter this game as Stefanowicz throws it out to Olsen. Olsen tries to cut inside a defender of Grand Forks Central in that 3rd and 6 play. Quick pass, gains 1 yard, and it'll be a 4th and 5. And Horace has got a punt. So that's the second time tonight, second time in this half that Horace has come up with a turnover. 4th interception thrown by Simmers tonight. He came into this game, mind you, with only 2 and 4 touchdowns. Now, he had only thrown 26 times this year, so he's not the most prolific of throwers. But those 4 interceptions now bring his season total to 6 as Stefanowicz's punt is a boomer, and it drives the returner back and down. Great coverage by Horace on the play. As Central will take over at their own 30-yard line. He has 1 touchdown tonight, so 5 touchdowns on the season, but he has gone pear-shaped on the interceptions with 6. And the Hawks defense has been, well, ball Hawks. 4 interceptions in the secondary tonight. The 3rd interception he threw was the most egregious just because the play in front of him, as he was rolling to the right side, he had a receiver run free. That play design, by the way, they run 3 routes, 1 long, 1 medium, 1 short. And Simmers has the option. Seems like he had his mind made up when he snapped the ball where he was going on this one. He's running. He's much better with his legs on the ground on this one, though. He's going nowhere. Stopped at the 30. And he'll bring up 2nd and 10. Commend the Hawks as well tonight for the way that they have played defense. It has been pretty stout. Outside of the long 26-yard touchdown or 22-yard touchdown pass for the Knights, the Hawks haven't really allowed much to get behind them. Simmers will throw it to his left, out there and incomplete. His intended receiver on the play was Tyler Whalen. Pass is a little bit too high for him. It falls incomplete. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 10. And you're putting Simmers in a position to pass, which hasn't proved beneficial so far. The crowd getting excited here in Horace. 3rd and 10. 9 minutes and change to go in this quarter. Simmers will let it fly. Throws it for Strandell. Incomplete. Great coverage on the outside. Jackson Narum. Blanket coverage. Strandell had no room to do anything on that one. Simmers put it up knowing he's got the bigger bodied Strandell on the outside, but Jackson Narum, textbook coverage by the corner. And the Hawks back to receive the punt. Wilbur, it's away. It's a beauty. And it's taken at the 34. And just a 3-yard return by the Hawks to the 37 by Leszewski. And that is where the Hawks will take over from. Stefanowicz and this Horace squad haven't done a lot in this half. A couple first downs, but that's really it. They've really only gotten it to a couple players in Gavin Olson and Dylan Johnson. Garai hasn't really seen the field much in this half as well. Sometimes going to scan the sidelines to see if he had been injured. We do have a penalty on the play. I believe it was holding on Horace with a 10-yard penalty, pushing him back to the 27-yard line.
Where the Hawks will take over 1st and 10.
Hawks looking to move the ball. Garai, as soon as I say that, he's in the game. Stepping up to play on pass protection. Stefanowicz throws it over the middle. He has a guy. It's Olson, and it's too far. Olson broke free from 2 defenders, and Stefanowicz had him, but not enough air under the pass for Stefanowicz to run on under it. He's got a very strong arm, does Stefanowicz. Unfortunately, he didn't need strength on that one. He needed touch. Lacked it on the throw. 2nd and 10. Great pass protection, though, by the Hawks on that play. And like I said, we've really only seen Olson and Johnson involved in the offense in this quarter, in this half, I should say, as the snap is low. Stefanowicz throws it out to Olson. Olson's got a chance to try and run to the sidelines. Does out of a tackle. High steps and then is pushed out of bounds. First down run, though, after the catch for Olson. You can see why you want to get him the ball as they get it up to the 42-yard line. A gain of 14, 15 on the play. And a first down for the Hawks. In a prime position right now as the clock continues to melt away. 8:36 to go in the 4th quarter to take a late lead over Central. And Gavin Olson, he is fun. When you get him in space, look out. He can scoot. Garai in the backfield with Stefanowicz. Takes a snap. He'll hand it off up the middle. Garai met by the linebackers after a gain of 3 to the 45. Second and 7. Stefanowicz getting the call on the sideline. Jogs back in. And quickly breaks the huddle. Shotgun formation. Garai in the backfield with him. To his left, he takes it. Steps back, looks to his right, throws over the middle, and it is, Mason Johnson almost caught it. Had he not, Jack Simmers was there to take it away. You can see why they like Stefanowicz as the quarterback. His arm strength is pretty spectacular. The throw he had to Gavin Olson, 40 yards on a rope. That throw right there, he didn't even step into. kind of just whipped it out towards Mason Johnson and led him a little bit. He stands on the 40. 3rd and 7. Shotgun takes a snap. Steps back. Has a man, throws it out. It's Olsen who makes the catch. First down into Knight territory. And then he's thrown out of bounds, and then a late flag comes in as Payee back at the line of scrimmage. Then throws his helmet down. And another flag. I don't think Payee is going to be able to continue in this one. That is a big loss for Grand Forks Central. He is upset. And we'll see what the call is. The play, by the way, ended at the 43-yard line of Central, but let's get the call. Now we're going to have a conversation about yardage, and a needed one at that. I have to imagine that's a 30-yard penalty from here, although when you get halfway to the goal, I don't think you can do a full 30 yards. I'm not entirely sure how that works, and I think that's why they're having the discussion that they are, because they're not entirely sure how this is going to look. We talked really all night about Horace's inability to not commit personal foul penalties, and it's been a chippy game. The emotions have ran high. And they just boiled over there for Payee at the wrong time. A big 3rd down conversion for the Hawks, as they were able to go 12 yards for the first down on a 3rd and 7. But with 7:42 to go, the discussion has to be about yardage. It's clear that these penalties are on Grand Forks Central, but 2 flags were thrown. As back at the line of scrimmage, Payee was shoving one of the Hawk players. And it's not as if the Hawks have been without fault tonight either. A couple personal foul penalties on their own end. But it was the wrong moment for Payee to lose his cool, and here's the call. So the ball moves all the way up to the 19-yard line. And I believe what would have happened is that's a half the distance to the goal after the first unsportsmanlike conduct. Payee's night is done, as we correctly assumed. And the Hawks offense in prime position to take a lead. Garai's got room, cuts to the left, cuts it back inside, touchdown Garai! A 14-yard touchdown run with 7:29 to go, and the Hawks are on top for the first time tonight at 20-15. Now the decision from McMahon and the coaching staff is, do we go for 2 or do we keep it at 1? And it looks like they're going to go for 2. So a 14-yard run for Garai. Puts the Hawks on top, and now can they make it a 7-point lead? Stefanowicz takes snap, rolls out to the right, has Mason Johnson. And how they scored the touchdown, same play, gets them the 2-point conversion and a 7-point lead. 22-15 your score, 7:29 to go in this game. The Hawks have the lead. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in North Dakota. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the NDHSAA and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Dan Gutterson, Joey Hughes back with you. 7:29 to go in this contest. The Hawks grabbing a lead late to take the touchdown advantage over Grand Forks Central. That sequence, unfortunate for Grand Forks Central, as Payee was ejected from the game for 2 unsportsmanlike penalties. And it was after a 3rd and 7 play resulted in a first down for the Hawks. Payee back at the line of scrimmage, a little pushing and shoving, and then out of frustration tossed his helmet. And so he ended up getting kicked out of the game as the Hawks had the ball on the 14 after the 2 unsportsmanlike penalties. Garai runs it in from 14 yards out. Mason Johnson with a 2-point conversion. And the Knights find themselves trailing for the first time tonight at 22-15. The kick return brought back to the 26-yard line, make it the 27 officially, and that is where the Hawks, or I should say the Knights, will take over from. First and 10, 27. How do the Knights respond? Shotgun formation for Simmers. He's going to hand it off to Johannesson, who runs over to the left side. Nowhere to go. He has been bottled up all night long by this Hawks defense. And on that play, a loss of 2 back to the 25-yard line. It's one of the few times, if not the first time, that we have seen a ball carrier really on either side lose yardage. And the Hawks defense has gotten stronger as this game has gone on. Supported by 4 interceptions in the secondary. The Hawks looking to get Simmers in the backfield, who throws it out to the left side, and it is caught. Oh, it's caught out on the left side. What a reception. Then a late flag comes in as well to tack on to that. The reception made out there by Trey Kuntz all the way from the 25 to the 48-yard line of the Knights, or I should say of the Hawks. So a 26-yard completion, and now we've got a penalty as well, and we'll see what this is. So they call a personal foul late hit penalty. That one on Xavier Burrow. Xavier will scamper off. So tack on another 15 yards on that one to put it at the 33. I was caught up in trying to see who ended up catching that ball, as it looked like he was sandwiched between 2 Horace defenders. Still able to come down with it, Simmers. Beautiful touch on that one. And on one end, the personal foul benefits the Hawks. On the other, it hurts him as Simmers takes it from the 33, pushes his body past the 30, still moving defenders past the 25. A run of 10 where Simmers has got him a first down. And the senior quarterback saying not so fast.
Yardage good enough for a first down for the Knights. Ball placed at the 22-yard line.
Ball at the 22-yard line of Horace. We've hit the midway point of this fourth quarter. 22-15. Simmers takes it. He'll run right side. Trying to get to the outside. Cuts it to the inside. Really nowhere to go as he is cut down at the 20-yard line. Gain of 2. 2nd and 8. What a fun game this has been. An entertaining contest. At times heated. The emotions as high as they can get. Boiling over at points. But really, to be expected as those two teams fight to get into a better spot in the standings. Horace, disappointed in their last game, a 1-point loss to Valley City. Trying to make up for it. As Simmers takes a snap, run to that left side, trying to find room, gets past the 20 towards the 15-yard line, and down short of it. At the 16, gain of 4, will set up a 3rd and 4.
Run by Simmers. Brings up 3rd and about 4.
4:50 to go in this game. Again, Grand Forks Central really has not shown a propensity to kick the ball, and I can't imagine they will here. So assume if you're the Hawks, it'll be 2 plays to try and get a first. 3rd and 4. Simmers. Shotgun formation. Timeout. Grand Forks Central with 4:28 to go in this game. We will break with them as well. Horace 22, Grand Forks Central 15. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
Keep your job site stocked with reliable service from Prairie Supply Inc., the contractor's headquarters. Our team specializes in everything concrete. That means hand tools and equipment, rebar of all shapes and sizes, concrete forming packages and ICFs, decorative concrete materials like color, stain, sealers, and coatings. And let's not forget our impressive fleet of winter construction equipment to keep the concrete flowing all year round. If you've got concrete questions, we've got concrete answers at Prairie Supply Inc., the contractor's headquarters. Visit us today at any of our 6 locations.
22-15, 4:28 to go in this game. The Hawks clinging to a touchdown lead. The Knights are driving at the 16-yard line. Not far away from Patert to try and tie this thing up. 3rd down and 4, however, for the Knights. Although we have to assume that Grand Forks Central, who has only attempted 1 extra point on their touchdowns tonight, they have 2 of them. And we haven't seen them try any type of extra points, or I should say field goals. We have to assume they're going to go for it if they don't get it on 3rd and 4. Simmers shotgun, fakes the handoff to Johannesson, throws it over the middle, too high for his intended target, incomplete. Looked like he was looking for Kuntz over the middle. It'll bring up a 4th and 4.
We'll bring up 4th and 4 for the Knights.
4:24 to go, Grand Forks Central. It is a prime opportunity for them at this point in the game. 2 timeouts left for Grand Forks Central. But what they're more concerned about is 4 yards for a first. Simmers steps back. He has pressure in his face. He throws it to his outside and nowhere to go. Mason Johnson again. This young man is having the game of his life as he stops Gabe Tendy short of a first down and a turnover on downs. What a job by the Hawks defense to bend but not break. And we have a 1st and 10 for the Hawks. But one of the players is down for Horace at this point. Boy, Mason Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, with 4:15 to go in this game, may have just come up with the defensive play of the game. He's got a touchdown reception. He has a 2-point conversion. He also has an interception, and now with 4:15 to go, a tackle on Tandy, who was going for the first down on a 4th and 4. Mason Johnson. What a game from him. And really, with everything that he has done tonight, he may be one of the front runners for our energy player of the game. But we shall see. This one is far from over with 4:15 to go. As Stefanowicz, shotgun formation, takes a snap, hands it off to Dylan Johnson, who is dragged down after a carry of 2, maybe 3 yards up to the 17-yard line. A 2nd and 7 upcoming, and now you play an interesting game if you're Horace. How many first downs do you need in order to ice this one away, and how quickly do you want to get those first downs? I don't think we are in the time where you can start thinking about how easily can we melt clock. However, 3:40 to go in this game. The way that they have trotted out these plays, milking the clock as far as they go, as Stefanowicz hands it off to Johnson up the middle past the 20 to the 22-yard line. A 3rd down coming.
On the carry, number 3, Gavin Olsen. Stop made by number 26.
And 3 yards for the Hawks.
Makes it 3rd.
So they have to get to the 24 for the first. And a first down here. You might start seeing Central burn some timeouts, but can Central hold? Big play, 3rd and 3. Stefanowicz takes the snap, hands it off. Johnson finding, churning. I don't think he got it. I think he is short by about a half a yard. But boy, they are right on the 24, this near side umpire. That's on the 24. He may have gotten it. Are they going to measure? No, it's a first down. 2:41 to go. Johnson got just enough for the first down. Well, hang on here. The chains are not moving. Well, is it a first down or not? And there it is, finally. The chains didn't move, and the down marker went to 4. And now they changed things up. And a 1st and 10, and now Grand Forks Central, Coach Schauer, have to start thinking about calling timeouts. Shotgun, Stefanowicz takes it, hands it off. It's Garai over the right side, and he's chopped down in the backfield in a timeout. Grand Forks Central with 2:15 to go in this game. We'll keep it right here. Remember to stay tuned for the Tommy's Express Car Wash post-game show. Tommy's Express Car Wash. Love your ride at Tommy's Express Car Wash. Sign up for the Tommy Club through the app today, and new members get their first 30 days free. Tommy's Express Car Wash with 2 locations in Fargo and 2 in Moorhead. They have the tools and the expertise to keep your car clean inside and out. One more timeout for Grand Forks Central. 2:15 to go in this game. Down a touchdown. Garai, half a yard loss in that last carry. And so for the Hawks, you make it Central sweat it out. And by that I mean running it 2 more times. Hang on for ball security and let them try to move the ball quickly up the field. Or do you try to get aggressive and go for a first down? The second down play first to come at 2nd and 10. Stefanowicz, shotgun formation. He takes the snap. He hands it off. It's Garai over the left side. Has some room, has some blockers. Past the 30, past the 35. A first down to the 40, and that may be your dagger. Garai with a 16-yard run, a big run on 2nd and 10 and a first down. And Grand Forks Central will watch the clock run and their chances of a road victory slowly but surely melt away. One timeout remains. And the Hawks, that was a big, big, big run. It felt not a for sure thing that Horace was going to get this victory, but right now, you got to put the chances of winning at about 99.9%, as Central would burn their last time out after that run from Garai up to the 44, 43-yard line, so a gain of 3, the final timeout by the Knights with 1:37 to go. Still maybe enough time for the Knights to at least get Horace to pump it. I believe that this one is going to be over. Play clock is at 25, so let's just do some quick math, and forgive me, I'm not that great at it, but that's about a minute 15 for 3 25-second play clocks, and add in the seconds that they have to take to place the ball. Really not a ton of time for Grand Forks Central. The other added factor to all of this is Horace's punting tonight has been an adventure. And I think Horace would rather not have to put themselves in that position. But on this 2nd and 7, Stefanowicz will hand it off to Garai, who gets hammered down at the 44-yard line. And then he gets back up and back to the huddle. So the ball is placed. 30-second play clock, sorry. So really, at this point, I believe the game is over. I don't think that there's going to be any time left for the Knights to do much of anything. As Stefanowicz watches the clock melt away, McMahon most likely is going to call the timeout once we get to 1 second. As McMahon looks, calls it. 53 seconds to go. So one more play. Set the play clock. You don't get a first down here. Maybe there is more time. Like I said, my math is pretty terrible. 53 seconds left. May have an opportunity, but I think if it comes down to it, Horace is going to punt. But again, the punting has been an adventure. It has been an adventure. Could be just under 15 seconds. Joey's telling me 10. My cameraman saying 10 to 8. Again, if you're Horace, you don't want to get into this. And it brings up the question of, do you want to pass in this situation? My guess is no, just because the Knights don't really have any timeouts left anyways. You want to bleed as much clock as possible and then just play prevent defense from there. First down here, obviously game, for sure. I feel like the 16-yard run from Garai earlier in this drive was pretty much the dagger anyways. But there's still a slimmer of hope for the Knights. Stefanowicz takes the snap, handoff Garai, who's met in the backfield, so the Knights have got a chance.
Number 8, Ty Garai on.
So we have got about a 10-second difference. Joey Hughes nailing it, my cameraman. About a 10-second difference between play clock and game clock, and Horace, who has the timeouts, will let the play clock down to 1. They'll call the timeout. Leaving about 10 seconds left. Ball at the 44 on a 4th and 6. There's so many people that are saying, well, you could run around for 10 seconds. You could try to do something to, bleed away the clock. I think the last thing you want to do is anything cute. Punt it away from Jack Simmers. Punt it out of bounds if you have to. Punt it deep. But again, Let's just go back. Horace has had a punt block tonight. They had Oliveri have the punt. It was a line drive punt. They've had some punts not go their way. So punting the ball in this scenario is just no given. They've had a bad snap on a field goal attempt. So many things can go wrong in this scenario. And Coach McMahon is thinking all of these things through with his team. And so all options are available for the Hawks and how they want to approach this. Never been a coach at this level. Part of me feels though, don't overcomplicate things. Don't try to get cute. Just make this as simple as possible. Snap ball, catch ball, punt ball, and punt away from Simmers, who's standing at his own 25-yard line. Looks like they might do a rugby-style punt. Here comes Central, going for the block, quickly away, and it's a punt away from Simmers, and it hits the turf, and it will roll out of bounds. So it took a Central bounce, leaving 4 seconds on the clock for Grand Forks Central. If there is a body for Horace that is standing on the other side of the 50, outside of maybe 3 down linemen, I would be shocked. Don't let anybody get behind you. I'm uncomfortable with how close they are to the line of scrimmage at this point. The ball is at the 15-yard line. You put 7 dudes back at the 45, you just don't even play. But boy, they're playing up tight. I'm sure they're going to adjust here as they come out. And they've backed up a little bit. But we are going to get a timeout from Horace.
4 seconds remaining.
As Coach McMahon will bring over the defense and talk to them. Make sure to stay tuned for the Tommy's Express Car Wash show. McMahon, who is standing right now with the gold shirt, black hat, talking to his team. Hopefully we'll have a chance to talk to him after this game. And one of the players of his choice. We usually leave it up to the coaches to bring up who they would like. Sometimes we give suggestions, but there are so many players that you can kind of look at for this Hawks squad that have had an impact on this game. For me, personally, Mason Johnson has had a fantastic game. And after that timeout for McMahon, the ball is at the 15. A lot of his players were standing around the 25 or 30-yard line. After that timeout, kids are breaking from the huddle, and they're going back to about midfield, which would have been my suggestion as well. Simmers has a pretty good arm. I don't think he's going to put anything over these kids' heads if they don't want him to. So now you've got one deep safety standing between the 40 and the 45. There's more players in there, and Simmers. Only rushing 3 is Horace. He'll have to roll out to the right, looking for a flag. We don't get it. Simmers will chuck it deep, looking for something, and it is, I believe, intercepted for good measure. There it is. Another interception for Horace, their 5th of the game. That one by Charlie Leszewski, his 3rd of the game. And that is how it ends for the Hawks. Fittingly so, 5 interceptions from the secondary tonight. 3 in the second half as they shut out the Knights 8-0 in the 3rd and 4th quarter. And they come up with a huge, and I don't think that is an overstatement, victory over the Knights, 22-15. An EDC victory, critically important for this Horace squad, only in their 2nd year of varsity football play. The Knights come into town. They fought valiantly. However, they fall short of their goal, which was a victory that they were looking for tonight. The win goes to the Hawks. They move to 3-3 overall, 3-2 in EDC play, while the Knights will fall to 1-3 in EDC play and 2-4 overall. 22-15 your final. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the Tommy's Express Car Wash Show from the Horace High School football field. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our growers. Your trust and fellowship is the driving force behind our dedication to your successful farming operation. We continue to invest in the education of our team to ensure your customer experience is outstanding. Thank you for the opportunity to be your planter experts. Stop by either of our locations in Hillsboro or Drayton, North Dakota, or visit planterdoc.com.
Every Wednesday night at 7, watch the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show presented by the Hillsboro Economic Development Corporation. Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region, as we'll hear from area coaches in North Dakota and Minnesota. Plus, we'll highlight area high school seniors on their achievements in the classroom and on the court with our Senior Spotlight. That's the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show presented by the Hillsboro Economic Development Corporation, Wednesday nights at 7 on YourLiveEvent.com.
Dan Gunnarsson back here on the Tommy's Express Car Wash post-game show. What a fun game tonight from Horace High. 22-15 your final. The Hawks with the victory. Thank you to Tommy's Express Car Wash. Love your ride at Tommy's Express Car Wash. Sign up for the Tommy Club through the app today, and new members get their first 30 days free. Tommy's Express Car Wash with 2 locations, Fargo, 2 in Moorhead. And they have the tools and the expertise to keep your car clean inside and out. We will be hopefully joined on the post-game show by a Horace Hawks player and Coach McMahon, the winning coach for the Hawks in this one. First, though, let's just go back over this game, and what a back-and-forth, fun, entertaining contest tonight between the Knights and the Hawks. We go back to the first quarter, about 9 and change left to go. Horace, a fumble at their Knights 41. Aram put the ball on the deck, recovered by Central, who would turn that into points, an 11-yard touchdown run from Caden Johannesson, and it gave the Knights an early 7-0 lead. The Hawks would respond right back after that touchdown, however. They had a big 47-yard run by Dylan Johnson on their own, and then would score on a 2-yard touchdown pass from Stefanowicz to Mason Johnson, with 3:33 to go in that first quarter, and it gave them tied things up at 7 apiece. The first interception of 5 happened in that first quarter as well. Cooper Fuchs had a pick, and with 1:53 to go in that first quarter, didn't really turn into much, and in fact, it turned into an error on the Hawks side later in the drive with about 11:42 to go in the second quarter. A bad snap on a field goal attempt. Gavin Olson tried to score the touchdown, could not. And Central would turn him over on downs. Later in the half, after a blocked punt, in fact, Grand Forks Central took the ball from 26 yards out, and Simmers found Strandell for a touchdown pass. They would take a 2-point conversion and convert it. Simmers found Wilbur in the back of the end zone. With 6:45 to go in that first half, 15-7 was the lead. The Hawks would respond right away. A 3-yard touchdown run by Garai with 2:42 to go in that second quarter, and the extra point made it 15-14. Leszewski, one of his 3 interceptions, the first one with 1:41 to go in the second quarter, and he shut things down to end the half at 15-14. Second half was a defensive battle It started with a Mason Johnson interception with 3:27 to go in the third quarter. And then it was a Leshevsky interception with just 11:50 to go in the fourth quarter, early on to start that quarter. And more back and forth to that point. However, on a third down play, and this one for me is what we are calling the RDK precision play of the game. RDK Enterprises, of course, we'll tell you a little bit more about them in a moment. But for me, this is the RDK Enterprise precision play of the game. A 3rd and 6. Gavin Olsen had leaked out to the right side, and Stefanowicz was able to find him on a first down run that carried the ball into Knights territory. But during that play, Eric Payee for Grand Forks Central ended up getting 1 and 2 unsportsmanlike conducts ejected from the game that moved the ball all the way to the 14-yard line for the Hawks. That was our RDK precision play of the game. RDK Enterprises in Hillsborough and Drayton. For precision planting updates, information, questions, contact RDK Enterprises, Hillsborough and Drayton, 701-636-2119, or visit planterdoc.com. RDK Enterprises is here to help you. Shortly after that, it was Garai from 14 yards out, the touchdown run for him, and it gave the Horace Hawks the lead that they would not relinquish. They did go for 2, and guess who? Mason Johnson was able to be on the receiving end of a 2-point conversion. 22-15 was the score at that time, and that is how things ended for tonight's game. A 22-15 win for the Horace Hawks. As we said, it's a big win for them standing-wise. Just to take a quick snapshot at this before we take one break and see if we can't get a coach and a player up here shortly for a post-game interview. Fargo North, of course, with the lead. It looks like they're going to go on to 5-0 in the EDC standings. But with the win, Hawks go to 3-2 in the EDC, 3-3 overall. Grand Forks Central drops to 1-3 in the EDC, 2-4 overall. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the head coach of the Horace Hawks. You're watching North Dakota High School football on your live event.
For 20 years, 702 Communications has been connecting people and businesses to the world through internet, telephone, and TV. And as your needs have changed, so has 702. Our dedication to our community and customers runs deep. So when you call, we listen. And you can trust that we'll never stop working to bring the latest technology to our friends and neighbors. Thank you for 20 years in business. The best is yet to come.
That's all right.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community.
We'll get
one
you
that
here.
you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the sportsman club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
Dan Gunnarsson back with you on your live event, joined by Charlie Leshevsky. 3 interceptions tonight, Charlie. Big victory for you guys. Defensively, though, really seemed like you showed up, especially in the second half. And let's start with that performance that you guys did, shutting out the Knights offensively, held them out of the end zone. Talk about your defensive performance as a whole tonight.
I'm just going to give credit to the whole team because as a unit, that's how we work well together. And once we went in that shed, we knew, like our coaches say all the time, when we take them to a dark place in the third and fourth quarter, teams don't want to hang. So we knew if we just kept sticking it out and making plays, that we were just going to pull that one out.
How were you guys able to take the energy from the crowd and the homecoming energy and really focus that in and stay focused throughout this game? There was a lot of back and forth. Emotions were running high, clearly, but you guys seemed to stay focused throughout.
The energy today was just unbelievable. So electric, so very easy to play behind that today. They helped us out for sure.
Talk a little bit about your teammate, Mason Johnson. I mean, he was all over the field tonight. He had a touchdown reception, a 2-point conversion, an interception, but probably one of the biggest plays on that 4th down tackle over on the far sideline. Talk a little bit about him.
Just great player and an even better guy. One of the funniest kids I've ever met. Knows how to keep guys just light and loose, and then obviously just great player. makes plays at exactly when you need them.
I would be remiss if I let you leave without talking a little bit about your game. 3 interceptions throughout. What were you seeing? What were you kind of keying in on getting the ability to come away with 3 picks tonight?
Well, early in that second quarter, I got beat deep, so I knew that they were going to start targeting me quite a bit. And so I set my drop a little bit quicker and deeper, and I knew that if they came and targeted me, all the work we put in, I was going to go make a play. So.
Well, you certainly did tonight. 3 interceptions for Charlie Leshevsky, our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. Charlie, hey, appreciate your time today. We'll bring in your coach, Coach McMahon. Thank you again, Charlie, for, absolutely. Great game from him, leading the secondary with the 5 interceptions, 3 of those. Coach McMahon, we'll bring you in here. Hey, big victory for you guys tonight. Let's talk about that energy, again, from this game. It just seemed to be at a very high energy point. Some edgy plays throughout the game as well. How did you have your players stay focused but also still have that level of intensity where you were just kind of right there throughout this game?
Well, and Chippy and a lot of energy is right, maybe too much at times, right, for a coach. So, a lot of that was just when we got to halftime and we just told them, you know what, we knew we were in for a dogfight, and so our 3 goals in this game was, win the turnover margin, B, be the more physical team, and then 3, be the most excited to be at this game, right? And I felt like we executed. I don't know the turnover margin, but I'm pretty sure we won it.
Yes.
And so with that being said, I can confidently say I think we got all 3 of our goals. And so there's a lot to clean up, though, because we are such a young team, and the penalties as a coach, it eats you up, and it's something we got to correct in the practice next week. So there's a lot to learn still. I love that this team has a ton of energy, but again, with a young team, it's about kind of how do you control it. So.
Yeah, well, the turnover margin you absolutely won. I believe it was 1 turnover right away in the first half, the Narum fumble, but then after that, 5 interceptions from your secondary, and it seemed to be timely ones in the second half. Take me through how you tried to coach your secondary after the big 26-yard touchdown that the Knights were able to get over the top on you.
Well, stay aggressive, first off. They got some real talented kids, and we knew that going in. And at some point, when you're a young program, you can't just say they have better athletes. So we wanted to go out there and compete. So we had some coverage changes. We wanted to disguise it a little bit so we weren't predictable. That's an X's and O thing that we get into. But, yeah, we would disguise a couple coverages so that, some of maybe their better players would have a couple guys on them. And so I think when we put them in that position, at that point it's just players making plays. And certainly Charlie is a kid who made a lot of plays for us tonight.
Yeah, let's talk about players making plays. Charlie for sure and his 3 interceptions. But what we were most impressed about up here was Mason Johnson. And just he seemed to step up in the big moments. Let's talk about that 4th down stop that he had on the far sideline. Take us through that and what you were seeing on the sideline.
It was one of our team goals, be physical. Mason was the most physical kid tonight. And that's what you guys saw, is you see a kid who's a wrestler, and it carries over to football, and he's a long, lengthy kid who's got a great heart, and he plays physical. And that's really what it is. He's intuitive, and I could talk about Mason all day. He's a real special player for us. But that's not to discredit. I'm so happy Charlie, a senior, who gets my approach to coaching, but it wasn't just Mason. Mason happened to be the guy that was in the position to make that play, but so many things were set up to that where, you expect a kid like that to make that play.
Yeah, and he made them. He stepped up for you guys tonight, and it was a great team effort for sure, shutting the Knights out in the second half. An impressive performance for you guys. What do you feel you can carry on with your squad, or what can they carry on as we get into the latter parts of this season, and what do you expect from them moving forward?
Well, there's a couple things to that. The non-X's no part is belief, right? That was an opt-down team, Grand Forks Central, and we haven't beaten an opt-down team yet. And so that we took a lot of pride in that tonight. And then, an X's and O's thing is we do feel we have found our identity a little bit, specifically on the defensive end. And so it's just kind of honing those things, because we still left plenty of mistakes out on that field. And so let's take this momentum. Let's just keep taking it 1 week at a time. And continue the maturing process. We are still not a super mature team. We are young, and so let's just take these experiences that we're getting on Fridays now, and let's just keep maturing.
You can learn a lot from a loss. You can learn a lot from a win. I just know it feels better when you're learning from a win rather than a loss, and it's got to feel good for you guys tonight. Coach, congratulations on the victory, 22-15 over the Knights. Appreciate you joining us here on the Tommy's Express Car Wash Show.
Yep, appreciate you guys giving us coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach McMahon for the Horace Hawks joining us here on the Tommy's Express Car Wash post-game show. When we come back, we'll wrap things up from Horace High, the final 22-15 Horace Hawks with the victory. More on your live event in North Dakota High School football.
If you want help from a
Thank you,
firm that
Coach.
has
Hey, good
integrity
morning.
and respect, strives for excellence, and is interested in the betterment of the community, look no farther than Onstead Twitchell Attorneys. Our team of attorneys has
I'm gonna wrap this
dedicated
up. I'll
and
just keep
talented
it on.
professionals who are committed to improving the lives of their clients and providing custom legal solutions with integrity and excellence. We have offices in West Fargo, Hillsborough, Maddox, Page, and Castleton. Or visit our website, www.onsteadlaw.com.
Dan Gunderson back here on your live events broadcast on North Dakota High School football. Let's wrap things up. A big thank you to our sponsors, RDK Enterprises, the precision play of the game for that one. And, of course, we couldn't be remiss if we didn't say thank you to Enbridge, the energy player of the game. Life takes energy. And for that, we thank them for sponsoring that play, or I should say the energy player of the game. We felt like that was Mason Johnson, who did a great job playing tonight for the Horace Hawks in the victory. Life takes energy. Enbridge, energy for life. Enbridge.com for career opportunities. Got word that North won again. They stay undefeated, 6-0 overall, 5-0 in the EDC. Everybody is chasing North, including the Hawks, but they didn't lose ground tonight. They maintained it with that 22-15 victory over the Knights. The Horace Hawks moved to 3-3 overall, 3-2 in EDC play. The Knights fall to 1-3 in EDC play, 2-4 overall. For Joey Hughes, I'm Dan Gunderson saying thank you so much for joining us tonight for your live events broadcast of North Dakota High School football, and we will see you on our next broadcast.
I tried to go through that gate down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't open it. And it was super crowded. So I was screwed. I guess Horace's AD does not let them go on the field even after the game. Like, who? Horace's principal/AD. I was like, that's a little stupid. Especially